Yes, fellas, thank you.
Hello in there, running round his apartment block 441 times.
Some achievement there.
Over 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, as promised, Britain's fastest growing sport, well, certainly among them, arm wrestling. Arm wrestling clubs are popping up all over the country. It's a very, the Birmingham Bullets, we pull one out of the air, has been a very popular club. So I'm sure this is music to the ears of our next guest, a seasoned arm wrestler, I believe, a former world champion, part of the British Arm Wrestling Federation. Neil Pickup joins us. Good afternoon, Neil.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
We're good.
Good, yeah.
This is great. Is it a sport you've loved and done all your life, suddenly getting sort of column inches in the newspapers, and here we are on talkSPORT saying it's growing in popularity?
It is. Arm wrestling has had a real resurgence of late. Probably the last 18 to 24 months specifically has been exceptional for the game. Getting a lot of eyeballs, a lot of people paying real attention to the sport, and that's fantastic.
Well, why would that be?
I think, to be honest, a lot of it has come from an enormous injection of interest from major social media entities and bodies. You've got people like Larry Wheels, who was a very, very big fitness influencer, got involved in the sport, and went viral in a couple of areas. We have a couple of individuals that have come into the sport which have helped dramatically as well. One in particular, over and above all others, I would say is probably Devon Larratt of Canada, who, I think in any sport, if you've got someone who is truly interesting, a real point of interest, it massively helps. And if you look at Devon Larratt, just looking at the stats of the man, he is a truly remarkable character. He's about a 6'6" former special forces soldier, just happens to be one of the best super heavyweight arm wrestlers in the world. The guy's quite an unusual individual. He's quite a spiritual individual, really endearing figure, very open, very accessible, brave, and that kind of thing. This has just created a perfect storm of opportunity. The interest, as you said, going through the roof at the moment, and fantastic times.
Does the length of your arm make any difference in particularly tall 6'7"? If you're 5'3", is it harder?
Leverage is very important. I mean, interestingly enough, I actually gave Devon Larratt his nickname, which is No Limits. And that nickname came from effectively Archimedes' law. If you give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum strong enough, I will move the world. And Devon's actually been doing that since that point forward. So yes, leverage does matter. If you've got an unusual combination with Devon and some athletes like that, where they've got a very, very long lever in the forearm, but also tremendous joint integrity. Joint strength is critical. With all strength sports, a lot of it is around material. Some people are just stronger than others. I mean, a very good personal friend of mine is a guy called Eddie Hall. Eddie is a former world's strongest man.
Strong man.
Yeah, he's been in to see us, Eddie. I don't think I want to take him on an arm wrestling.
Definitely not.
Now, if you look at Eddie in his early career, he was always uniquely gifted in strength. I myself, similar situation. As a young boy, it was very evident that I was very strong. And so you end up gravitating towards fields and disciplines which suit you, and that was very much why I got into the sport.
Is there a kind of central place where people can go if they're interested in joining one of these sort of clubs or finding out more about it? Is there a bit of information online?
Sure, there is. I mean, one of the best ways of doing that actually is an app which was created in association with Devon Larratt himself. It's called ArmBet. And if you just go and look up ArmBet, the app, you will find that, and it allows you to stay in touch with, locate arm wrestlers around the world. So this thing is like a travel buddy for people who are arm wrestlers. Whichever country you go to, if you download the ArmBet app, tell them where you are, groups of arm wrestlers who are training at various clubs, various associations within that area, regardless of country, you can get in touch with them, and that's a great way to do it.
And Neil, if people say, what do you do? I say, I'm a world champion arm wrestler. They always say, go on then. And then the arm gets planted, the hand gets open. Do they always want to try their luck?
Sometimes that does happen, yeah, that does happen. They usually rethink their life choices a couple of seconds later.
I saw an old picture of you arm wrestling Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day.
Yeah.
You probably had a few celebrity arm wrestles over the years, have you?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I mean, it's very accessible. It's something I suppose everybody's tried at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And so it's very appealing in that respect. And people I usually find are really engaged in how you do it. So people would say, is it just about strength? No, it's not. It's like saying boxing is just about hitting people. Very much the opposite. There's a tremendous amount of nuance, of strategy, as you alluded to a moment ago, leverage and so on. And it's you usually find the best arm wrestlers are very strategic in their approach to the sport. So they develop their style around the nuance of their physical characteristics.
Good stuff. Good to talk to you, Neil. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Likewise, guys. Thank you very much indeed.
Neil Pickup there, former world champion arm wrestler of the British Arm Wrestling Federation. I suppose the logical thing would be for me and you to arm wrestle now. No, that would be highly embarrassing. I'm a bit of a weakling.
No, you would be me, obviously.
Okay. Well, you arm wrestle Georgia, our assistant producer. That would be good.
That's more my mark.
Could actually beat you, wouldn't it? That would be good. Got to give you that one. Fantastic. Anyway, we're going to be talking WSL and more. You've been hearing in the news bulletins that one of our team here has been looking in great depth at the fact that there aren't enough football boots made specifically for women in the game, and it is causing issues. We'll touch on that. We'll look at Chelsea getting sawn off at the weekend, certainly through the eyes of Emma Hayes, their manager in the Champions League, and Andy Webb. Was a ropey decision, even I'd have said that. And only a couple of weeks ago, WSL, where are we at? Who's going to win the title? That's all coming up shortly.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet 10 pounds, and get 40 pounds in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Here's an offer from Volkswagen we think you'll approve of. Get 5.9% APR representative on an all-electric approved used Volkswagen ID4 or ID5 up to 36 months old on Solutions PCP and 2 years servicing. Your Volkswagen approved used retailer will also include 2 years warranty and 2 years roadside assistance as standard. An all-electric ID4 or ID5 to drive away today. What's not to approve of? Don't miss out. Offer ends April 30th. Search Volkswagen approved used ID.
Indemnities may be required, but participating retailers, vehicles up to 100,000 miles calculation, ID4 and ID5 models only. Volkswagen Finance.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on. With up to £200 off package holidays, you can save on our already unbeatable prices. Search EasyJet Holidays. Selected dates up to the 31st of October 2025. Book by 11 p.m. the 30th of April 2024. See price guarantee online. Minimum spend required. Hassle protected. T's and C's apply.
Some improvements we're making to our burgers are kind of a big deal. So McDonald's are giving rewards customers double points on selected classics. Sign up to My McDonald's Rewards, unlock your app, and get more of what you love. Double points. 18 plus, a Big Mac, quarter pounder, or double cheeseburger, participating restaurants only. Ends 19th of May, terms apply.
In people's postcode lotteries made draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won, and there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing, and sign up your postcode before midnight tomorrow. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL managed lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly. Not available in Northern Ireland.
TalkSPORT Traffic and Travel with MyDear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win air conditioning split system projects with MyDear. Win more, burn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
Bedfordshire at Lunham, the A1 Great North Road, that's been closed northbound after a lorry overturned near the Lunham turn-off. It came delays on the M25. You've got lane closures both ways for repairs near Junction 5 for Seven Oaks in the M26. And in West Sussex at Petworth, the A272, that's Horsham Road, that's been closed after a collision between the Fittleworth turn-off and the Chichester turn-off. I'm Adam Moore.
Live Championship football.
talkSPORT versus Ipswich.
Preemptive build-up as the bell strikes 7. Main event from 8 p.m. Tuesday night on talkSPORT 2.
Let's talk a bit of women's football now before we come on to the big fixtures forthcoming, the weekend's games, etc., and that Champions League match, Chelsea-Barcelona. Angelina Kelly has joined us in the studio. Max Scott has as well, because you've been hearing in the bulletins today that Max has been looking into women's football boots and some of the issues around them, Max. So, yeah, interesting stuff. So, tell us a bit more about it.
Well, despite the fact that the number of women and girls playing organised football globally is 16.6 million, and that's organised football, that doesn't count the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, just playing socially and having a kick about. Despite the fact that attendances to WSL has gone up 200%, these global sportswear brands are being accused of not going anywhere near far enough in designing boots specifically for female feet. Now, during this investigation, I've become somewhat of like an amateur podiatrist, and what I've really learned is that men and women's feet are generally completely different. Women have much narrower heels, narrower toe gap, higher arches, their hips are generally set wider. The way that their feet interact with the ground and the way that pressure runs through their legs is completely different. Now, of course, the reason this is topical is because there is an alarming number of ACL injuries in the women's game. Women are 8 times more likely to get an ACL injury than men. Now, there is no way of saying that there is one thing that causes that. We can't say that boots cause it. But I've been speaking to Professor Kat Ockholm-Krieger. She's dedicated her life to researching this, and she sort of spoke to me a little bit about the issues facing the women's game and boots and some of the links between this and injury.
Between the last 2 World Cups, we had a 25% growth in men's participation in women's football globally. So there's a massive market that they need to dive into. So it's not just a question of asking them to do it out of charity, them missing out on a brilliant opportunity to sell a product to a market that already exists.
What I don't understand is, didn't they sportswear companies learn anything from the Mary shirt situation?
Yeah. So if you
it's just, there's clearly a big market for women's football wear, football shoes. And if you ignore that, you're bonkers.
If you're a big sort of sports shoe manufacturer, I mean, globally, the amount of women that play football around the world, especially in the States and stuff, you would think there would be.
I think there'd be quite a lot of research and development.
Yes. Well, I think there's 2 sides to this. First of all, big companies like I contacted Adidas, and they got back to me, and they said that the last time they created a women's specific football boot was in 2016. That's 8 years ago. Since then, they've spent over €1 billion on general research and development, and they have told me that they have a gender-neutral approach to it, that they do not tailor boots to a specific gender's need. Now, of course, this sounds very inclusive, but also the people I've been speaking to are saying that doesn't cater for the very different physiological needs that women have to men.
Yeah.
In terms of Nike, they also brought out a boot called the Phantom Luna. They made a big deal about it before the Women's World Cup, and they said that it was sort of designed with her in mind. They've got this technology that's going to help reduce knee injuries. Now, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure they put a lot of research into that, but it's a unisex boot. Men can wear it, men can buy it. The outsole of that boot is on Erling Haaland's new boots. Right. And so there are just concerns that these companies that make billions aren't maybe going as far enough as they need to, and there's a lot of talk, but maybe not a lot of action.
Angelina, did you get, when you speak to women footballers, WSL players, etc., do they say they would like boots that were sort of tailored to their needs?
100%. And I mean, you look at the things that female footballers have gone through, the struggles with the kit, having to go and wash your own kit, or struggling to, even get the Mary situation like you spoke about. So I just think that women in this industry, they need to be taken seriously. We've been saying this for how many years now? Yeah. And part of being taken seriously is having a football boot that is designed to your needs. It just makes sense in my head. I don't understand it.
I mean, with it turning its head on, they would do it, Adidas, Nike, all of them would do it if they could make money out of it. So that would suggest that they don't feel they can.
Potentially. I do think that, Nike and Adidas would say that their current boots do cater for women's specific needs, and because they include women equally to men in the testing process and all these things. But again, the people that I've been speaking to, Professor Kat Ockholm-Krieger and Laura Youngson, who's created Ida Sports, which is boots specifically dedicated to women and girls, they would say that isn't enough. that it needs to be almost exclusively for women because of how different their biomechanics are to men.
Can you custom? I mean, you know, if you're a top WSL player, can you customise a boot? Can you take that basic boot and then sort of tweak it, nips and tucks to make it sort of customised to your needs? Do we know if players do that? Or?
I'm pretty sure I've heard stories of female footballers trying to do things like that.
They shouldn't have to, they really.
Well, yeah, and also, nor should 12-year-old girls that are passionate about the game have to wait until they're a pro for that to happen. I think I've tried to approach current pros about this, and of course they're involved in a lot of
they've got deals,
right?
Yeah,
so,
they don't want to badmouth their understanding.
And so it's difficult to know exactly the sort of how their individual boots work, but I think on a larger scale there is questions about these global sportswear brands.
Interesting, yes. I mean, is it elsewhere on talkSPORT? Can we kind of hear some of the other stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's our full investigations on talkSPORT.com, and you can find that. And also, I'm speaking to Leanne Sanderson on the Women's Football Show this evening, talkSPORT 2, 7 p.m, where you can hear in a lot more detail the investigation we put in.
Thank you, Max. Thanks very much, Max Scott there, our very own. As Angelina Kelly sticking around because we're going to just talk about the WSL. Actually, they're starting the Champions League with Chelsea. They're winning up at the weekend.
Do you remember Tom Henning-Vrabo, the referee in the infamous Chelsea Barcelona? This was his daughter, I
think it might have
Honestly, I've never seen it. And two of the worst bits of refereeing I've ever seen in my life completely changed the game.
Yeah, it hinged on a red card, Angelina, didn't it? Or a second yellow, which was a really soft second yellow. When you look at it, there's no real contact at all, is there?
No, it was the most frustrating game of football I've watched in a while, and as a Man United fan, I've watched a lot of frustrating football, so that's saying something. I think it was just such a shame, and I think Emma Hayes touched on it when she said it's hard because we didn't lose the game because we played poorly. It was because of these decisions, and it totally swung the momentum of the game. And it was really difficult. It's such a a sad way that things have gone for Emma Hayes, in this final season. But I just am hoping that Chelsea will respond very strongly in the WSL. That is still to play for. People talk about, Emma Hayes won't have the Champions League trophy. I don't think any of that matters. I don't think that harms her legacy in any way, shape or form. It was one of those games where things just were not going right for them. And like I say, the WSL now, they've got to focus on that because they can still get that trophy.
It's a lucky goal as well. It was deflected.
Yeah,
stopped it. Look, I've written down worst misses of Chris since Roger Davis. I don't know.
That is an old
honestly,
reference.
it was an absolute own goal. I think it would have been harder to hit the bar than she did it.
Yeah.
But like the men, they missed a lot of chances, and also like the men, they've got a lot of injuries. I don't know what's going on.
That's true. You think if Sam Kerr had been in that game, could it have been different?
Even Maya Ramirez.
Yeah.
So it's a near official. So everyone, and it's what always happens in football. You get all your injuries in the one position.
Yeah.
Massive attendance at that game at the Briggs the other night, and in the last half hour or so it's been announced that the cumulative attendance for the Women's Super League and the Women's Championships passed 1 million for the 23-24 season. And it was at the Palace promotion at the weekend was took it over the million, which is great, isn't it?
That's what we want.
And when the games are being played in the stadiums, in the men's stadiums, generally the crowds have been good, haven't they?
Yeah, and I thought the crowd was great on Saturday, and even the Barcelona fans, the away fans, they were brilliant, out in full force. So yeah, that's what we want to see.
Only two teams can win the title now: City or Chelsea. Arsenal are out of it after the weekend, aren't they?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, City are 6 points clear, but Chelsea do have 2 games in hand. And with Khadija Shaw, who is Manchester City's top goal scorer, she's out for the rest of the season. Chelsea fans will probably be rubbing their hands together at that because, that's, going to help them. But, yeah, still all to play for. But this is what you want in the Women's Super League. You want it to be tight. The way that it is in the Premier League, you're not too sure who's going to win it. It's going to go neck and neck, to the line. So, yeah, still, like I say, lots to play for Chelsea. And I've got a feeling I think they'll be able to do it.
There's still that big gap between, those teams that are coming up. Palace are coming up, and they'll probably have a bit more resource than Bristol City, who've just gone down. Bristol City have gone down with 6 points, haven't they? They're well cut adrift. And it is hard, as a lot of the bigger clubs put a lot of energy and resource into it. A club of Bristol City size, with respect, can only do so much, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. It is tough when you've got, one end of it, you've got, your Manchester Cities and your Chelseas, and you've got teams like that, it's an uneven playing field in some respects. But really exciting to see Crystal Palace coming up, another big name in football in general, in English football, seeing them.
American ownership, I would imagine, will feed into them, pumping more resource in women's football.
Definitely.
Thanks, Angeline. Thanks very much. Angelina Kelly there getting us updated with the WSL. We've got a lot of live football for you coming up this week on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. We're going to kick off with Preston Leicester this evening in the Championship on talkSPORT 2. Bit of a promotion party for Leicester. And Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, don't forget, in the Champions League live tomorrow evening on talkSPORT.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right.
Welcome to 32 Red on Mancatino! Incredible! Play over 500 games, including exclusive slots, the Cube, Tipping Point, and I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here! Join 32 Red and get a bang tiny welcome bonus up to 150 quid. 150 quid? That's incredible! Visit 32red.com to claim. 18 plus BeGambleAware.com. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. Up to 50 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
All the big names are here. Ooh, who's that?
I think she was in the movie about that really big shark.
No, not her. The florist.
She's automating invoices on the go so she can spend more time on that flower wall.
QuickBooks will save you up to 8 hours a week, so you can bring your vision to life. That's how you business differently. Intuit QuickBooks.
Jump into a Skoda Plus approved used car with 11.4% APR representative plus £750 deposit contribution. Solutions PCP. 2 years servicing, 2 years warranty, 2 MOTs, and 2 years roadside assistance. To use when driving to places like your 2-year-old's tutu party in Tooting tomorrow. Skoda approved use event available from the 15th to the 29th of April, so visit your local retailer today. Skoda. Indemnities may be required at participating retailers. Vehicles up to 8 years and 100,000 miles of activation. Skoda Finance. Toodaloo.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham is back on Disney Plus. Join Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Here we are in season 3. It's going to be a very harrowing edge-of-your-seat season.
In a whole new league.
This division's going to be tougher.
If we keep believing, we can turn things round.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham. New season streaming May 3rd exclusively on Disney Plus. 18 plus subscription required. T&Cs apply.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. So count on us to make sure your summer holiday is worth every penny. With over 50 sunny destinations, an amazing choice of 2 to 5-star hotels, and 22 kilograms of baggage included. Book summer now with just a £60 deposit per person. And spread the cost with flexible monthly payments. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. And financial protected. Subject to availability conditions.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Rewards Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars at the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free Rewards Shaker to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max 1 reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. On your mobile and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. talkSPORT.
With Lookers. With over 140 dealerships nationwide, it's the place to find new and used cars and vans. Visit lookers.co.uk.
Jake Bothroyd joins us for a chat in a few moments' time. But before all of that, Will Hobbs has the sports headlines.
Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon. Billy Vanapolas released a statement after he was tasered and arrested by police at a bar in Mallorca. talkSPORT's Alex Dibble has more.
He says there was no violence, but local police say he pushed and slapped an officer. And they say that was after he confronted customers and couldn't be restrained by security. Now, this was a full Saracens team social, and the club are investigating it themselves as their players fly home.
talkSPORT's been told major football brands need to do more to design women's-specific football boots. It's after our investigation found a lack of products available on the market. Ex-Sheffield United striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk told talkSPORT there's very little choice for female players.
I think it would be an accepted thing. As you say, you didn't really have the choice growing up. And yeah, a lot of girls obviously with even smaller feet would probably wear then the kids' versions.
Full investigation is on talkSPORT.com. Thiago Silva's confirmed he'll leave Chelsea at the end of the season, but we understand Liverpool are confident Mo Salah is staying. Saudi club Al Ittihad is still considering a £70 million bid. Ahead of the fight to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, George Groves told talkSPORT there's a definite favourite.
Not just their most recent performances, but over their pool of the past 2 years of work, you've got to pick Usyk to beat Fury.
And the London Marathon's seen a record number of applicants for the 2025 race. Over 840,000 people have registered, with applicants finding out whether they have a place in July.
talkSPORT News.
The First Minister of Scotland has resigned, with a former Deputy First Minister considering taking over, and a man has pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of an 87-year-old who was stabbed on a mobility scooter. Cara has more at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
A band of rain in the west is moving northeast, staying drier in the southeast.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on talkSPORT.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We bring you that Leicester game a little bit later on, and we'll be building up to that this evening. We're also going to be chatting to snooker expert Rob Moore, whose mum has played a very small part in Ronnie O'Sullivan's World Snooker Championship. What's the word I'm looking for? Challenge. Attempt. That's it, that'll do. And Mark Pugh, formerly of Bournemouth, will be joining us to talk a bit of Bournemouth and in his new role as the foodie footballer, keeping you in good nick over the summer, keeping you ticking over before the start of the season. But joining us now is former Arsenal, Cov, much travelled, and something we'll come on to, footballer who found himself in the studio yesterday in the Tottenham Arsenal role with our own Jamie O'Hara. Jay Botteroy joins us. Hi, Jay.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, you gave Jamie's suffering. Or you gave Jamie some club, didn't you, really? It was a tough watch for me.
It was a tough watch for you. Do you know what? I got a bit nervous at the end, to be honest. After all the banter I was giving him, but we came through in the end.
You could feel that in the stadium. I was there sort of right opposite the Arsenal fans, and we were getting it both barrels at half-time. And, you know, even with this interesting Perry Gray saying he never felt completely confident, even at 3-0 at half-time. But as soon as that first goal went in, I could sense the nerves of the Arsenal fans.
To be honest, when I did actually say, he thought I was joking. I did actually say 4-1. But he said to me, oh, you know, that's rubbish, you were just joking. And I said, no, I actually do think that, and I think it'll be 2-0 within 30 minutes. And then obviously that happened as well. And to be honest, as much as, if I'm honest, Tottenham played good football. They knocked the ball around, but it was the cutting edge they didn't have. And when I looked at Arsenal's performance, it was more disciplined, compact, aggressive, and then the details, which is set pieces. Arsenal have been fantastic at this season, and then obviously until Raya, I don't know what he was doing, but you know, it seemed to me, I look at that and say he was trying to take liberties. But when that happened, you let Tottenham back in the door, and you know, then it's nervy now.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, it's what Arsenal have been doing all season, right to that result.
It's a different game if Van der Ven isn't offside. Completely. Spurs were so on top. The momentum was with them. The stadium would have gone mad. 1-1, it would have been a tough game for Arsenal. Not saying they wouldn't have won it, but it would have been much, much tougher.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would have been tougher, but I mean, he was offside. I think the one that I would say, you know, could have gone either way, and it went our way, was the clip on Kulusevski. If that was me, then I would want a penalty there, because ultimately he's running, and even though it's a soft clip can still trip you up. You know, sometimes, you know, when you were a kid back in the day, and you just like clip your mate's heels and make him trip. Like that's what can happen. You know, you can fall down. The thing is, he didn't go down. I think had he have gone down, you know, he would have got a penalty. But you know, we say to players, we want you to stay on your feet and don't dive and don't make theatrics. But he did do that, and he wasn't rewarded for it.
I mean, he felt maybe that he could still stay on his feet and get a shot off, or get a pass in, and he felt he was, because he's not completely been wiped out. But, you know, as you said, playing sometimes get too honest. When you were playing in Japan, Jim, did you come up against a Postecoglou side? Did you play against? Was it Greenish, these two?
No, I played against Ange a few times. I used to actually meet up with him in Tokyo and have lunch with him sometimes and have a coffee when I could. I really think he's a great manager. I think I don't want to admit this, but I think he can take Tottenham places and win some trophies. It's his first season. There's going to be mistakes, but I think from where Tottenham as a football club have come, you know, I think now they're in a much better place. I think the fans are happier with the brand of football, as in it's not defensive no more, it's not boring. You know, there's going to be goals in the game. You can expect goals. So I think Tottenham have a good manager in there, and I think that United will at some point, you know, get some silverware, which you guys really need.
You've spoken to him about his philosophy, and you've seen the kind of football he plays. He clearly at the moment hasn't completely got the personality. The same with Arteta early on, wasn't it? He had this core of 5 or 6 players that he had to work with, and then he built around them. It does take time.
He's done a good job. I think there was a few seasons where I think Arteta finished 8th. I'm not 100% sure, but I think 2 seasons where I think 8. Yeah. So I mean, listen, you have to start somewhere. There's players that obviously he doesn't want. Sometimes, you know, there's players in a squad that doesn't fit what he wants, and he's starting to build that. He's going to rebuild that squad, but he does have a eye for a good player. The thing I like about football is, I'm a football purist. I want to see a philosophy. I want to see managers, you know, adopting a style, bringing those young players up through the system, so when they step into the first team, they look comfortable. You can see that with Man City. That's why they're so good. You know, whoever steps on that pitch, they understand exactly what's expected of them, and that is what I mean by philosophy. Ange does that. He's done that at Marinus before. He done it at Celtic, and now he's at Tottenham. The beginning of his tenure, I'm sure he'll do it there too.
As a football purist, did you enjoy Arsenal's performance at the Etihad?
Got the job done though,
didn't he? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to be objective today and tell the truth, because if I'm honest, I look at Arsenal and I think Arsenal against Man City, I think that's a really good matchup for Arsenal, as in they've got players, Arsenal have got players that can expose Man City in them wide areas. And with the defence and with the likes of Declan Rice, Partey, Jorginho, they can stay really disciplined, really be compact and break fast. And I think, yes, last season Man City beat Arsenal, but I think if the tactics are right, Arsenal have the tools to give Man City problems. I was a little bit disappointed that Arsenal went there just for a point. That was clear to see. I would have liked them to do something similar to what Liverpool did the week before. Go and win the game. If you get a draw, you come away with a draw. Great. You know, don't lose the game. But I want to see my club believe in themselves and go and win that game. So if I'm honest, I was a bit disappointed they went and played like that.
You'd like to sign Eze, I see. I'm sure a lot of clubs would like it, but you think he'd be a very good fit.
He's a lovely player.
Yeah, I think he's, I think he's a great player. He had one of the worst injuries in football with his Achilles rupture, and it took him a while, but now you can really see how good he is technically. He's a fantastic player. He shoots really well. He's a big guy. He's strong. I think he's exactly what Arsenal need.
Where would he fit in though there? Who would he play?
In the 3 of midfield. I still look at Arsenal. Arsenal need a striker. I'd love them to just say, no, we are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Let's go and sign Isak for 120 mil. Break the bank for him. Because Arsenal need a striker. I think they need another midfielder on that kind of left side, and then I would say a left back as well. The way that Arsenal are going, I think it's just a bit unfortunate for Arsenal at the moment. We're in a time in the Premier League where we're playing against one of the best sides ever in Premier League history in Man City, and there's no shame in finishing second. Vincent. It was very shocking to myself and my family. I found out that my dad had prostate cancer. At the time, you know, when he first told me, of course it was over the phone, and I didn't quite know how to take it, to be honest. But then when I went to see him, and see him standing in front of me, I could see vulnerability in his face, and I hadn't seen that before from my dad. I've never even seen him cry before. So, you know, he was always my rock. He was always there for me in my good and my bad times. And now it's like the tables have turned, and I'm that person there now that's there to support him, that's there to be there for him and be strong for him. So it was a really tough time. He has come out the other end, but it's one of those situations. I don't know about you guys, but for my parents, it was much like, if I don't feel pain, I'm not going to go to the doctors. And I think a lot of people are like that. I think in this day and age, we need to stay on top of our health. We need to get checked out, you know, at least, you know, once a year. But I think it's important to know that 1 in 8 men actually have prostate cancer. 1 in 4 black men have prostate cancer. So it's important that us as men, you know, we keep on top of that, keep on top of our health, get ourselves checked out regularly, because you never know when it could just flare up.
This fundraising challenge, the big golf race, how's that going to work?
So basically, we're raising money. We're going to go on golf courses, play as much holes as possible. To be honest, I've only played 36 in my life, so I'm gonna attempt 72, and at some point I'm gonna attempt 100 as well. It's something I love doing now. I've been retired from football. Actually, I was talking to Jamie about it yesterday. He plays golf all the time, so I'm gonna have to give him a shout and get him on this as well. But yeah, ultimately, we're raising money. We're trying to create more awareness. So yeah, we're trying to make more money so we can do extensive research in as to why, you know, even 1 in 4 black men have it like half as much as white men. That I still don't understand that, and that's what, you know, some money will be going to, I'm sure. But I think the research in itself needs to be more extensive.
If you put the big golf race 2024, the big golf race into Google, will click through to prostate cancer, UK.org, and all the details are there of how you can get involved. Before we let you go, you're talking about City being brilliant. You played for them recently against AFC Richmond, didn't you, in Ted Lasso? I saw the players coming out the tunnel, and I don't normally look at the opposition. So, that's Jay Bothroyd. He's playing for Man City. That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what the funny thing was? Obviously, when COVID happened, you know, I was in Japan, so I was just binge watching TV, and then I came across Ted Lasso on Apple TV, and I was just like, what's this about? And then I got watching it, and actually I loved the show. And then my manager called me up and said, listen, it's going to be the last ever Ted Lasso. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, what? Yeah, why not? And then it turns out I was playing for Man City. Pep's giving me a little pep talk. So it was good to be a part of it. It was nice to see actually how it was made, and how you see it on TV is like crazy, worlds apart. It's crazy, but it was a good experience, and you know, I'm on IMDb now, isn't it?
Was Pep taking it very seriously? Was he telling you off when you came off the
my skills to Hollywood.
Yeah. That was good at it too. Yeah, he was good. Well, Jay, good to talk to you. We wish you well with the big golf race, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
There we are. There's Jay Bothroyd there, formerly Colchester, in there. And they say much travel, went to Japan, took his career overseas, and interesting saying about Postecoglou and sort of spending a bit of time with him, chatting about his
philosophy. He does seem like a really good bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're going to be chatting very, very shortly to Rob Moore from the world of snooker. So a little bit of breaking news from the world of football, which I think we might be bringing you shortly as well. And hopefully we'll talk a bit of Leicester later on. And Mark Pugh will join us to talk Bournemouth. So that's all to come.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Psst. With EDF, you could charge up your EV for under £10 overnight, saving you cash and carbon while you sleep. Find out more about our zero carbon generation at edfenergy.com/helping Britain. Based on using a 7 kilowatt home charger and EDF's Go Electric overnight tariff at 9p per kilowatt hour off peak.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right.
What to give your sister for her birthday? She loves surprises. You've already organised the surprise party and invited her ex-boyfriend Ravi. That'll be a good surprise. Oh, maybe a scratch card from the National Lottery. She'll see the envelope and think you've forgotten the present, but surprise! It's inside. The National Lottery. Best gift ever. Please gift responsibly. And remember, you need to be 18 to buy, gift and play. Even though it's a gift, rules and procedures apply.
Here's an offer from Volkswagen we think you'll approve of. Get 5.9% APR representative on an all-electric approved used Volkswagen ID4 or ID5 up to 36 months old on Solutions PCP and 2 years servicing. Your Volkswagen approved used retailer will also include 2 years warranty and 2 years roadside assistance as standard. An all-electric ID4 or ID5 to drive away today. What's not to approve of? Don't miss out. Offer ends April 30th. Search Volkswagen approved used ID.
Indemnities may be required. At participating retailers, vehicles up to 100,000 miles of activation. ID4 and ID5 models only. Volkswagen Finance.
Searching for a holiday? Here's an idea. Don't type cheap flights to wherever into your browser. You know you do it. Search Kayak instead. Let us do the finding for you. All the great flight deals from hundreds of travel sites, all in one place. Go on, do it, do it. Listen to the waves, they're calling your name. Not literally, obviously, unless your name is Kayak. Kayak. You're thinking about it, aren't you? Search Kayak and go see for yourself.
On average, Rift get their customers £3,000 back.
I like the rubber ball like a mountain.
Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift tax refunds.
Got a paintwork scratch, bumper scuff or minor dent? Want it fixed like new? Of course you do. At Chips Away we don't judge, we just fix it. Enter a few details online for a free, no obligation estimate. We'll come to you, or you can visit one of our car care centres. For professional, affordable car body repairs with a lifetime guarantee, visit chipsaway.co.uk. Chips Away, like it never happened.
At Betfred, we want to support all our customers in keeping their gambling fun.
I'll just have a bet obviously every home game really, because it's maybe only twice a month.
I'm like that with the boxing when there's like a big hype around it and I want to get involved, but like it's not that often.
To be fair, I often just put time out on major if it starts getting a bit too much.
Taking a break is just one of the ways that you can gamble safely.
Do you have like a regular team that you bet on?
I won't bet on a team I support. You'll just disappoint you twice.
How do you keep it fun? Gamble safely with Betfred.
The talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with MyDear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat recovery VRF projects with MyDear. Win more, earn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
Bedfordshire at Lunham, the A1 Great North Road, that's been closed northbound after a lorry overturned near the Lunham turnoff. It came delays on the M25. You've got lane closures both ways for repairs near Junction 5, the Seven Oaks and the M26. And in West Sussex at Petworth, the A272, that's Horsham Road, that's been closed after a collision between the Pittleworth turnoff and the Chichester turnoff. I'm Adam Moore.
Signal, sports power for journey on. Don't miss drive. Next from 4 on talkSPORT.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We'll bring you more on this story, but the Premier League clubs have voted in principle to introduce a spending cap. Andy mentioned earlier on this anchoring system, which is linked to the TV revenue of the lowest Premier League
5
clubs.
times the TV revenue according to Ben Jacobs in the bottom club.
Yeah, we're going to try and find out a bit more about that.
I just wonder if it's going to affect the transfer market this summer. I mean, it might make the prices drop, which wouldn't be a bad thing, but you can't imagine people are going to go and splash out. For example, somebody like Ivan Toney, you're not going to pay 100 million, are you? Just not.
Well, we're going to move to snooker now. We'll come back to that. And if Ronnie O'Sullivan has a good World Championship, maybe he's got to thank our next guest, Mum, who has become the official marmalade supplier to Ronnie O'Sullivan. It is Rob Moore, the Sun's the snooker correspondent. Hello, Rob.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jimmy Gentleman.
Yeah. So, how's your mum started supplying marmalade to Ronnie?
I'm just waiting for her to get an agent because she used to take my calls. Get a call paparazzi outside. I spoke to Ronnie about 3 weeks ago, went to his house, and the way I was brought up is if you're going to someone's house for the first time, you bring a gift. And of course, having my hair cut before the interview, I was on mum and dad's. We have a hairdresser that comes over, and she made me some marmalade. She makes every time I pop over for me and my brothers and my wife. And I just had a pot, and I thought I'd bring it to Ronnie. And he'd just come back from Manchester. He'd lost the final before championship from our Wills. So he comes in the house. There's no food. There's nothing. The milk's gone off in the fridge, and he's got nothing to eat. And luckily, he had some marmalade. The guy from the mail we spoke to brought some scones. So he had some scones and marmalade. It just feels like he's using that to fuel his bid for an eighth World Cup.
I can see your mum on Dragon's Den. Mama Moore's marmalade. I'm looking for 50 grand for 20% of the business. That would be good, wouldn't it? It's
an excellent cook. I mean, I beg your pardon. It's a sensational cook.
No, Ronnie said, I saw the piece on Saturday in the paper and said, oh, you do thank your mum. It's very nice. He's been enjoying it, hasn't he?
I mean, yeah, it came in the press conference. The first thing he said. I mean, look, it's a bit of a light-hearted story, and I think we write so many serious stories during the course of the year. It's quite a nice way to get fun. And the thing about Ronnie is, given how high he is in British sport, he is one of the greatest names of all time, the best in his field. That unpredictability. He comes in and talks about marmalade at the start of the press conference. Just sort of sums Ronnie up, really. And you just never know what you're going to get. But I think he's just, he's in really good. I mean, that marmalade aside, he's in really good form actually. He's won today. He's been very relaxed on it. I'm doing a piece for tomorrow about fasting from him. Ironically, given that he's got this marmalade in his fridge, he's actually been fasting during the championships. And he's just in really relaxed form. When Ronnie's playing well, the rest of the field just drops down because he is the opposite. He's in a bit of place, in my opinion.
You also write today about Stephen Maguire being extremely working. We were chatting about it. We've been asking the listeners about their long-running sporting feud because this has got through this is over 20 years, isn't it? Over Maguire, you say, forgetting his chalk and being docked to frame because he delayed the start of a match.
Yeah, so it's 2012 Grand Prix. Maguire turns up. We haven't got his kit on. He has to go backstage. The referee decides to fly from the ball, push on frame. The allegation was that Paul Murphy did speak to him. And actually said to the referee, you need to dock in the frame, not the decision. Maguire says that it's Murphy's decision. The referee denies that, said he didn't actually speak to him what Maguire was. They are different characters. They grew up champions from the juniors. It's incredible, isn't it? Professional sport. When it comes to Bruce, the incident is 2 decades ago, dominated the headlines, but you saw the kickoff and you saw the celebration for Maguire when that second session on Saturday. These two really want to get progress. And the Scotsman, who was a qualifier, now plays Daisy Gilman in the final. So one of those two is going to set up on Thursday. It's a great story for Steve Maguire, isn't it?
Yeah,
if he can get to the semi-final, given having been the Wiltshire star.
There's been so much talk about the Crucible, hasn't there? People it's a new story out of China. What do you think will happen with those things?
That's a really good point because it's been a very difficult tournament, not many centering, many close games. But narrative-wise, should the Crucible move? Should it move to Saudi, China? The breakaway tour suggestion that we know that Dave has been approached by New Zealand wrestling to join this exhibition circuit. What do I think? 2027 is the last event for sure. 2028, will he go for it? Or is Barry Henry wants to get more money out of Sheffield Council? To up the deal with the BBC, I think we'll soon find out. But I wouldn't be surprised if it moves. But then a lot of fans, a lot of traditionalists, people like John Doherty, they wanted to stay here in Sheffield. This wonderful old arena. The problem is it's not too big. It's not big enough. How many seats? They feel they can sell it that for a concession. But if we take the Saudi money, we're better, I think. If we move it to Riyadh, we bring a lot of fans and a lot of punters.
Rob, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Rob Moore there, the Crucible, watching all the this week on Fold. Keep you in touch with that, because we want to just briefly touch on this story. The Premier League clubs are voted in principle to introduce spending cap. It wasn't unanimous. Chelsea abstained, a number of other clubs voted against it. Alex Brooke is back busy then on the football front, Alex. It's interesting, this. As Andy said, it's all about anchoring, and that is that's 5 times the amount of money that was paid out to the team, the TV money that's paid out to the team at the top of the Premier League. That's the figure we understand.
So surely those teams, the teams at the bottom of the table, are selling less than the teams at the top. Aren't the teams at the top the ones that are generating all the TV money in effect? You know, so it's a very strange way of doing it.
We've got Alex there. He's here now. So yes, you can briefly explain how this is likely to work, Alex. I know it's very early on in the day and more information will come out, but what do we know so far?
Yeah, as you guys have been alluding to there, there's been an agreement in principle, if you like, between the 20 Premier League clubs. They are going to bring in this spending cap, as you say, anchoring. It's basically based on a certain multiple of the lowest amount a club can earn from television money and commercial revenue. So if you look at Southampton last season, for example, they earned less than any other club in the Premier League, around about £103 million. If we're going to multiply that by 5, which is the figure that I've been given loosely, you're looking at a spending cap of around about £518 million. That would be the maximum that any Premier League team can spend on their squad. It's interesting when you look at the clubs who have either abstained from voting in Chelsea's case or voted against it in the case of Manchester City and Manchester United. They're the 3 clubs at the moment who would be most affected. Chelsea are, surprise, over the threshold. Their current playing squad is worth more than that spending cap. It was to be 5 times. City just underneath it, but on the borderline, and similar when it comes to Manchester United as well. Now, this will have to go to a formal vote at a later date, as with any Premier League change. If 14 clubs vote in favour, then it will come into play. So it's really interesting because it comes at a time when, of course, they're looking at changing the way that the profit and sustainability rules work. They're looking at a more UEFA type system, where it will be determined how much you will spend on wages. So I think these are interesting times when it comes to spending in the Premier League. As I say, no surprise that Chelsea could be most affected.
So if stop saying Eric Glee. So if you're within the £105 million loss, but you've gone over the other news threshold, you're going to get punished for one or the other. It's going to be a bit of a mess, this, isn't it?
It's going to be a bit of a kind of complicated sort of handover process, isn't there, really? They take stock of where clubs are at.
Yeah, I think when I spoke to you guys a couple of weeks ago, I suggested that if they do change the PSR rules to this UEFA system, and certainly for the first year they're going to run side by side. So again, there is a bit of double punishment potential there, and maybe even triple punishment now with these new spending rules that are likely to come in. But I think, as always, the devil will be in the detail. We don't know 100% if it'll be 5 times, and say that's a figure that I've been given loosely. It could be 4.5 times. I think the concern here is, when you look at the fact that Jude Bellingham has already gone to ply his trade in La Liga, clearly Kylian Mbappe is bound for Real Madrid as well. There's a lot of talk around Erling Haaland at the moment, and how much longer he'll be at Manchester City before he goes to Real Madrid or Barcelona. And I guess if you are one of those top clubs, and maybe this is why United and City at the moment are not in favour of the spending cap, there is a concern that maybe the Premier League, by doing this, will be handing initiative to their European rivals. Although you have to caveat that and say that it's the wages the Premier League clubs pay as a collective to dwarf those of any other major European league at this moment in time.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll try and get a little further guidance if we can a little bit later on. But for now, Alex, thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
There we are. The Premier League clubs voting in principle to introduce a spending cap. Now, I think we've got to try and get ahead. We may need a bottom end, but if you fall foul of the rules, as you did before the rules come into play, then they have to make allowance for that. Yeah, they have to give you a period of adjustment to get your kind of house in order. Absolutely, you can't otherwise. I mean, also, we're still going to see the points deductions. Will there be fines? I mean, what are the punishments going to be for these? We still don't know.
I'm in favour of pads for fans, much more.
Why didn't the Tigers attack it?
That was very unsatisfactory.
Right, we won't news on Nottingham Forest. It will be sometime this week. I'll ask for a quick move clear, so they know what they're up against for the remaining days, and looks like they're going to get it. So for the next couple of days, Forest and Rife have had a reduction on that 4-point reduction that they picked up a couple of months ago. So still to come this afternoon, Mark Hughes going to join us. A bit of a milestone weekend for Anthony Iriola at Bournemouth. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to keep you in good shape if you play football for the summer. And hopefully you'll be ready to rock at the start of the season. We'll tell us more about that shortly.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation for a job done right.
Here's football legend Jeannie Redknapp for new hands-free Skechers slip-ins footwear.
As a football player, I'm used to not using my hands. So when Skechers came out with hands-free shoes, it was a match made in heaven. Because with new Skechers slip-ins, I just step in and go, without bending down or touching my shoes.
Find Skechers slip-ins at Skechers store or skechers.co.uk.
So many small cars to choose from. This one looks like that one, which looks like... Oh, the new Suzuki Swift. This is the one.
Yeah, standard reaction to the new Suzuki Swift, which comes with serious style, a choice of cool colours, and loads of tech as standard. Oh, and it's available with 0% APR for 2 years. Want to be one of the first behind the wheel? Search Suzuki Swift to book your test drive and get set to feel good different. Participating dealers only. Suzuki Financial Services Limited. T's and C's apply. See cars.suzuki.co.uk/offers.
Don't miss out on the best bits this summer. Watch tennis on your Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE whilst catching rays. The races whilst at a party. The 100-metre sprint whilst at a wedding, if you dare. Or any sport whilst you're roaming at home with your tablet. Plus claim 3 buds FE with your purchase at Currys. Win-win. And hopefully, win. Wi-Fi connection required. Purchase by 30th of May 2024 from Currys. Claim buds FE in white from Samsung.com within 30 days of purchase. T's and C's apply.
You can't beat the feeling of the team you back scoring a last-minute winner. Or the ball landing on your lucky number 7 on the roulette wheel. With a live score bet, we know that when it comes to betting, nothing is a dead cert. That's why we want you to get the most out of betting with us responsibly. We've got a range of tools to help you stay the right side of the line, from deposit limits and spending controls to a cool-off period. Visit the safer gambling section on livescorebet.com or download the app for more details. Bet responsibly. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
With Now, you can stream the biggest action on Sky Sports instantly and without a contract. Absolutely brilliant. This Sunday, Liverpool face Tottenham at Anfield. But that's not all. Catch the final games on of the EFL Championship, the Miami Grand Prix, and the finals of the Madrid Open Tennis. Get all the Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream a big weekend of sport live with Now. Head to nowtv.com.
18+. Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
What do you call a cowboy club in soil? The Lone Ranger. Jokes aside, if you need to lay a good-looking, lightweight, aggressively rooting, low-maintenance lawn in a hurry, Jewson can deliver house-done turf to you on-site in just 3 days. Start it off right with house-owned blended loam peat topsoil, and you're looking at one luscious lawn that'll be the envy of your competition. Just don't ask any to...
Stop, please.
to talkSPORT, please.
talkSPORT for news broadcasting.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right.
With MyDear Cooling and Heating, find an easier route to repair source heat pump projects with MyDear. Win more, earn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
In Bedfordshire at Blenheim, the A1 Great North Road, that's still closed heading northbound after a lorry overturned near the Blenheim turnoff. In Kent, with delays on the M25, you've got roadworks both ways between Sevenoaks at Junction 5 and Clackett Lane services. And in Hampshire, the M27 is slow westbound after a breakdown between Southampton Airport at Junction 5 and a turn off to the M3 at Junction 4. I'm Attenborough.
Here's football legend Jimmy Redknapp for new hands-free Skechers slip-ins footwear. As a football player, I'm used to not using my hands. So when Skechers came out with hands-free shoes, it was a match made in heaven. Because with new Skechers slip-ins, I just step in and go, without bending down or touching my shoes. Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store or skechers.co.uk. Monday nights, live championship football. It's on talkSPORT soon. Oh, it's in!
100% Super Real commentary. Preston versus Leicester.
What a goal! What a goal!
Kickoff at 8 p.m.
Monday nights on talkSPORT 2.
Well, as we've been telling you, in the last half hour, it's been announced that the Premier League in principle have agreed to a spending cap. Not everybody thought it was a great idea, so Chelsea abstained. Villa, Manchester United and City voted against it, but it'll take 14 votes to happen at a later date. And we thought we need a little bit of guidance, somebody to hold their hand financially through this, and who better than the Pricing's Footballs and football finance expert Kieran Maguire. Hi, Kieran.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
I know this is a real leap, but just imagine you're speaking with a pair of idiots. and I mean, funny enough, I've just seen a tweet from you on this very subject, and the immediate sort of reaction is it's doom and gloom, but not necessarily. Tell us more.
No, if we take a look at what we think are the rules, what you do is that you take the TV money from the Premier League, so the side that finishes bottom of the Premier League, and you multiply that by a number. Now, we don't know whether that's going to be 4.5 or 5 times 6. So if we take a look at last season, Southampton had the lowest TV money, just over 103 million. You multiply that, and that gives you 518 million, if you're going to use the 4.5 times figure. And then you say, well, clubs can spend 518 or up to 518 million pounds on player wages, agent fees, transfer fees, and player write-downs. And if you plug that in, probably 18, 19 out of 20 clubs, it won't impact. I think Chelsea would have been impacted on the basis of their spending last year, but even Chelsea don't think they're going to spend the same amount of money on a regular basis. So it's a bit of a funny one. I don't really see it impacting upon clubs on the present level of the TV deal.
But as a Chelsea fan, you're obviously concerned. But if they did this last year, where the rules were they spent far too much money, we all know that. But if they spent far too much money on the proviso, there was going to be a certain set of rules, and then the rules change, and it affects them.
They should be given a period of adjustment, I guess.
Well, it does seem a little bit harsh.
Yes, I agree with you entirely. So I think there will be transitional rules. I think what we are going to be seeing is that these rules will be introduced in 2025-26. So they'll have a full year to prepare. They'll effectively have 3 windows to make any adjustments in terms of their player trading, and also those players for whom they are thinking of offering contract extensions, they'll be able to take that into consideration as well. What we've not heard is the response from the players' union, because this is to a large extent a hard wage cap in the Premier League for the first time, and we know that the PFA took the EFL to a tribunal when they tried to introduce a £2.5 million or £1.5 million cap in Leagues 2 and 1 recently, and those were overturned. So there's lots of people you need to get round the table before this could be finalised.
There is a fear then that talent could be lost to other leagues, but by on the same point, I guess the Premier League played so much more than many other countries. Would that be offset by that? Is there a fear that we could see a sort of talent drain from the Premier League?
I think that's highly unlikely. The main challenge, I think, as far as the English market is concerned, is Spain. La Liga have their own wage caps, so I don't see. We've seen the impact that wage cap had on Barcelona only a couple of years ago when they had to get rid of Messi and some other players. So I don't see that as being an issue as far as this is concerned. I think it's more to do with the internal politics of the Premier League. There are some of what you might refer to as the middle classes of the league who are concerned that the big brands, such as Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea and so on, they're making so much money from commercial income, is that these proposals take the commercial success of those clubs out of the equation. So if they continue to grow at previous rates, I'm looking at the numbers in front of me here, and Manchester City, for example, they make around about 11, 12 times as much from their commercial activities as a small club such as Palace. Now, that takes that advantage out of future calculations.
Well, do you know when we're going to get the sort of official word on this? I mean, they've agreed in principle, and when we're likely to hear the final figure, whether it's 4.5 times, 5 times, 6 times, etc.
I think what we'll now move into is those factions that exist within the Premier League. There'll be lots of horse trading on a variety of issues through which the clubs are unhappy about, and it will probably take the whole of the summer. I think there's a 2-day meeting coming up shortly as well, where perhaps they'll manage to hammer these things out. And also, I think as you rightly raised, what's going to happen in the transitional period. And remember, these rules are operating alongside UEFA's rules, and also you can't spend more than 70% or 85% of your revenue on player costs. So the accountants are going to be having a field day, as are the lawyers. And I think for the rest of us, but in football jump at the goalposts, we'll just be left scratching our heads.
Just finally, will this have a sort of suppressing effect on the transfer market in the summer? You'd imagine it might. The clubs are a bit uncertain about how the new rules are going to affect them. They may not want to spend so much money.
I think actually the old rules are more likely to impact the transfer market as far as the summer of 24 is concerned. I think there'll be a lot of toing and froing before the 30th of June, especially for those clubs who are on the sticky wicket when it comes to compliance with the rules. But once that's over, I think we'll be back to full steam ahead. The Premier League is incredibly successful, and clubs A, want to be in it, and B, they want to progress up the Premier League, because every extra position is worth an extra £3.5 million. So I don't see a huge issue as far as this summer's market is concerned. I think we might see some discounted prices early on in the window, but then return to normal.
Appreciate your time, Kieran. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Kieran Maguire, football finance expert. Yeah, that's right. We went for the bargain buys. Half of the Price is Football podcast. I'm sure him and Kevin Dow will be chatting about it. Very interesting stuff. So, more reaction on Shaw, and further updates in Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Don't forget our football on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Leicester could secure the Championship title. They're back in the Prem, but they're big Preston tonight. They've won the league, and that's exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 from 7. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, myself and Charlie Baker. Andy back on Wednesday. Have a good evening.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right.
The small improvements we're making to our burgers are kind of a big deal. So McDonald's are giving rewards customers double points on selected classics. Sign up to My McDonald's Rewards, unlocking ads to eat more for your love. Double points. 18 plus, Big Mac, McDonald's, participating restaurants only. Entitled May is not apply.
Hi, Sam. Yeah, just picked up my van from Renault Trucks. No, it's not a truck. It's my traffic van. Bought it from Renault Trucks. They do vans too, diesel and electric. Yeah, check online for opening times. Loads of their dealers do extended service now, so perfect for us tradies. Dropped it off after work yesterday and picked it up first thing this morning, so no time wasted. Go to renaulttruckstraffic.co.uk. You can book a test drive for a new Traffic van too.
5 minutes and you're done. You can do your own simple haircut in 5 minutes or less with innovative Beast Clipper from Skull Shaver. No more driving, waiting and paying every time you cut your hair. None of that. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 5-star reviews worldwide and 30 days money-back guarantee. 5 minutes and you're done. The Beast Clipper at skullshaver.co.uk can do it. Skull Shaver, the time saver.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on, with up to 15% off flights. But hurry, these deals won't be around long. Book now at easyjet.com. Get out there. Selected dates. Book by 11 p.m. the 13th of April 2024. Flights one way. T's and C's apply.
You can't beat the feeling of the team you back scoring a last-minute winner. Or the ball landing on your lucky number 7 on the roulette wheel. But at LifeScore Bet, we know that when it comes to betting, nothing is a dead cert. That's why we want you to get the most out of betting with us responsibly. We've got a range of tools to help you stay the right side of the line, from deposit limits and spending controls to a cool-off period. Visit the safer gambling section on LifeScoreBet.com or download the app for more details. Bet responsibly. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
On average, Rift get their customers £3,000 back. Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
We're not a bit Spanish. We're not vaguely Spanish. Somewhat Spanish or Spanish. Estrella Galicia Cerveza is 100% Spanish. Just look for the label. Brewed slowly for 5 generations in A Coruña, using the finest Galician ingredients. So as a 100% authentic Spanish beer, it's time we say, cheers to the pretenders. We'll take it from here. Estrella Galicia. Spanish, not Spanish.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave.
Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker.
talkSPORT.
Hello, good afternoon. Next up, of course, it's the first drive time show of the week with me, Andy Goldstein. Superstar is Darren Bent alongside. As you would imagine, on a Monday, looking back at a busy weekend of Premier League football. Loads to talk about. We're going to start off talking about the North London derby. If you want to understand that, you can. We'll talk everything from, of course, goals that maybe should have been given but weren't given. We'll talk about David Raya and his lack of footballing ability with the ball at his feet. We'll talk about Big Ange. 03717223344. That's how we start today's show. We'll also talk about Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp. Who was right? Who was wrong in that? Who deserves more respect? But North London is how we start today's show. That number again is 03717 223344. All of that more is coming up first, though, with the sport headlines. Here's Will Hobbs.
talkSPORT Sports Update will trust a trader. Whatever the job, find verified professionals with real reviews at trustedtrader.com. Talk Sport.
Thanks, Andy. Good afternoon. Premier League clubs have voted in principle for a spending cap. The idea is to link it to the smallest amount of TV income earned by a Premier League side. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, has more.
Southampton last season, for example, they earned around about £103 million. If we're going to multiply that by 5, which is a figure that I've been given loosely, you're looking at a spending cap of around about £518 million.
Billy Vanapolas denied being violent at a bar in Mallorca despite being tasered and arrested. Local police say he pushed and slapped an officer after security failed to arrest him. After a fast-track trial, Vanapola paid a €240 fine. We've been getting more reaction to claims global sportswear brands aren't designing enough football boots for women, research suggests, because their feet are so different to men's. Wearing smaller versions of male boots can cause serious problems. Here's former England international talkSPORT's Leanne Sanderson.
I think for me, this is something that's been definitely missing in the market. I think a lot of companies need to wake up and do a little bit more because, like I said, I only wore David Beckham's boots growing up, but they were the only ones available to me. There wasn't any female boots.
With Fury Usyk beginning to loom large, George Groves has told talkSPORT he thinks there's a clear favourite.
I just think that years have been kinder to Usyk and he's in better form. I can see him winning. I can't see Fury winning.
And 13 of the 23 Chinese swimmers who tested positive for banned substances before the Tokyo Olympics will compete in Paris this summer. All 23 were cleared of wrongdoing as China's anti-doping agency said they were victims of a mass contamination.
talkSPORT News.
The UK government say they will not take back migrants from Ireland unless France does the same. And Hamza Yousaf has resigned as the First Minister of Scotland. Cara has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
A band of rain in the west, moving north-east throughout the day, staying drier in the southeast.
On DAB, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT Drive. Sports radio that's guaranteed to go the distance. The UK's fastest driving force in sports radio. talkSPORT Drive.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, and the fellow alongside me, I've read something about him recently in the national press. Darren, by the way, it's Darren Ben. Oh, you haven't got any Ben? No, okay, fine. You all right, Benji?
Yeah,
Do your own sound effects. Darren, by the way, it's Darren Ben.
It's Darren here, by the way, Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I saw Jermaine Genius in the old paper.
Yeah, I'll read that to you in a minute. By Gino, we've got a show for you this afternoon. We'll be getting your take on the Salah versus Klopp scenario as Liverpool all but ended their title chances. Don't laugh, Benny. We'll also, you can laugh about this, we'll also hear who Alan Pardew suggested should take over Old Trafford as Man United drop points against Birmingham. The well-earned, what are we talking about? We also want to hear from you as we look back on a video weekend of action. What do you want to discuss from the weekend's football? I like that. It's the last day of the show, and we'll be discussing the tough-on season with Sheffield United. They became the first side to be relegated to the Premier League on Saturday. This is Drive, this is talkSPORT. You can get involved. You can 03 717 22 33 4 03 717 22 33 4. Dial that. We're talking North London right after this. Darren Ben.
Andy Goldstein.
How bent is trainer mad? Flash football pundit. Flash is what it says in the paper today. Darren Ben has, and I quote, lost £500,000 in training, according to TV presenter Jermaine Genius. He said the ex-Spurs striker, 40, treats buying limited edition footwear like trading on the stock exchange. Jermaine, 41, said, I'm into my trainers. I've been collecting them for a while. But I'm not like Darren Ben, but big into them. And he always has been. He goes on and on. There's a picture of you in the paper. Hold on. And what's great about it is one of the pictures we use for our Instagram pictures.
I stole off one of our pages.
Yeah. But what's great is it's full frame you. You can just see my right arm and my
yeah.
right leg. My right arm and right leg are in the paper. I'll be honest, that's all right. As long as my right arm is... Anyway, what's that? You've lost £500,000, have you? What's all that about?
You know when you read the actual article,
Yeah.
what Jermaine is saying, it made sense, because what he's basically saying is he was saying he's trained for a long time, but it was the right time when I sold him, but if I'd have waited, as a good example, I bought a shoe for...
This would be a good example, everyone.
I bought a shoe for like 100, right?
Well, no, just so we can understand.
Right, so I bought a shoe for £8,000, right? Limited edition, 1 of 25, Jordan bought.
Right. A trainer
Sneaker.
for £8 grand.
Because obviously the better.
Sold
it 5 years later for 25.
A trainer?
Yeah,
Okay.
sneaker.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable investment, right?
Yes.
Right? I saw
Did
the
you wear it?
Once. I then sold it for 25. I saw the same shoe, say, a couple of years back, for 110.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what he means by... So I didn't lose money on it.
No, you gave money.
I gave money, but...
He's getting involved.
Clever if I'd have waited like 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all clever after the event.
Exactly. That's what he means by it.
Are they? Genius getting involved.
Someone put in, do I collect limited edition football boots? A little bit, not as much as I used to. I used to bad.
Oh, I didn't know that. What you got?
There's hardly anything on my back. The Mercurial Vapors, I've had Preds,
Can you tell everyone the ones?
Mizuno.
They're nice. Can you tell anyone the ones you got on today?
Yeah, the Jumpman Jacks Pro Slots.
No, they're not even out yet.
Not yet.
I mean, I'm not a trainer freak like you are, but even I look at them and go, wow, they're pretty cool. What do you make of mine?
Your whole look today is, I like it.
Do you?
Yeah. But it's not you, but you look like me, but I like it.
Look like you.
What are you wearing?
How do you think people will tell us apart?
Probably by the hair.
Okay, it's the hair,
Because obviously your hair is straight,
yeah.
and mine is like...
Yours is curly?
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, you like the trainers?
Yeah.
They're quite Darren Ben, they're quite big and wide.
I mean, they're not quite Darren Ben, but they're nice, they're
Yeah, they're nice.
No, the whole alternating.
Do you like it?
The combats.
Yeah.
But you hammer me all the time on this show.
No, but what it is, so many people are like, Goldstein, you know, you lead the fashion, you lead the way, we look up to you for inspiration. I'm like, right, okay, fine, this is how I dress. And also this is quite important, summer I've always struggled, because jeans are just too expensive, too hot, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Ben is ridiculously expensive trainer. Jeans are always too hot in the summer. So I'm like, oh, now I've got a little, because it's really warm out today.
Yeah. I don't know about really warm.
No, it's really warm.
Really warm?
Yeah. Joey just said, should we do a show in my own boots out? Fine, okay, then North London is red, 100%. Press the button.
It's a crucial North London derby victory for Arsenal.
A big game for us, a big game for our fans, and we unfortunately found ourselves about the clock in the first period of the game, and disappointing outcome.
Obviously, it's an unbelievable stadium, the atmosphere, the team. You're going to suffer. You want to win here, be ready to suffer. At the end, the team plan was to win it, and you showed a lot of quality, especially the play that were involved in session plays to do what I did.
Oh, God! Spurs and Arsenal follows the Gunners 3-2 win in North London. Yesterday, if you want to have your say that, you can 0371 722 Let's talk about it. Firstly, well done.
Where are you going to start?
Well, we'll start at the beginning.
Shall I start? Bosh! Come on, shot. Fox!
You, at the end, you must have been a little bit... No, you must have been a little bit squeaky bum time at 3-2 with 10 minutes to go.
Because I think they scored the second 85th.
Okay. Right. How much injury time do you have? 6 minutes or 11 minutes?
Do you know what? I wasn't. And do you know why I wasn't? Because they've created a couple of chances, yet Romero hit the post for a header. But the two goals that they got were from, obviously, David Raya trying to be too clever.
Yeah.
And a penalty, which Declan Rice, who never really does that, just kind of lost his time and didn't see him coming. But in general play, the way Arsenal defended their box in their numbers, I felt quite comfortable, because Spurs were throwing the ball in the box and Arsenal just heading it away. Like, defensively, Arsenal to me looked comfortable. So that's why the last 10 minutes, where it could have been last season, I'd have been watching from under the pillow or something. I was like, what's happened here? But this season, defensively, they've been so solid that I was just like, you know what? I wasn't really that worried.
Let's talk about David Raya for a moment. There's lots to talk about from the game. Let's talk about that. Why did he do that?
Do you know what? It's one of those things where you really right? I know that the manager wants you to play a certain way, but even when you look at it from behind David Raya, if he gets the ball to Party, which is where I think he's trying to dink it into, I don't know what Party's going to do. He's going to have to check it, just clear it, or he loses it and they're on the goal anyway. But in that moment, you can quite clearly see, you see Romero kind of spooking a little bit by going that way. It almost involves you in that moment. It's really just get out of your feet and just go.
Why is he doing it? Is it a lack of concentration?
No, it's not a lack. It's just trying to be too clever. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to draw the press and also play through the press. And then it's really well. Again,
What did you make of Ben White trying to take Vicario's gloves off? I thought that was brilliant.
I loved it. Do you know what I love about it, right?
Go on.
I love it because it's quite cheeky and that's him.
Yeah.
But if you're a Spurs player or the manager, right? And I was at West Ham versus Tottenham a few weeks back in the Copa. West Ham scored from a corner, Zuma coming bang. Antonio was on the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is so soft when it comes to corners and set plays. Why, and you look at the goals that Arsenal scored, why are Spurs not getting somebody trying in between the goalkeeper and Ben White? So you call on me, Ben Davies, Ben, come in. Do me a favour, just stand on Ben White. Don't let him get anywhere near me. I'll try and come through across. 2 times the ball goes in the box, and Vicario, by the time the ball gets in there, it's only back.
Okay, so you and a very how important do you think it is that Arsenal got one? Because they're scoring from set pieces.
It's massive.
And Spurs are conceding from set pieces.
But Arsenal score more goals from set plays corners than anyone.
But is that down to having a coach that just deals with that? It must be, right?
Well, of course, because Arsenal didn't have one before and they weren't. So the facts are there, do you know what I mean? So from Spurs, and he's probably annoyed that his team's got beat. But that's an area you've got to look at, because other teams will pick up on that and go, hold on, the goalkeeper's a bit weak, and Spurs don't give him any protection. Like, if a goalkeeper's weak for crosses, you've got to do everything you can to stop anyone getting in his area. Especially if your goalkeeper's not the most vocal, the most, what's the word, where they're quite
animated,
intimidating, right?
Okay.
Every single time Ben White's on his own, with the goalkeeper. He backs in, and the goalkeeper just flaps it. Who score?
I want to talk to you about Saka's goal. There's a couple of things I want to ask you about.
That finish.
Firstly, was it a foul in the build-up to it?
No.
Okay. What was it in the build-up to it?
It was almost like a little bit of a tangle of legs, and he went down in installments. I don't think it was a foul personally,
Okay.
but I can understand why
I agree with you.
would think it was a foul.
Yeah.
And then the defender from Ben Davies.
But see, this is what I was going to say to you, right? Spurs play one way, we know that, right? They're so high. That goal was almost easy. It was almost like a PlayStation goal, wasn't it? You go down the right, you cut in, bend it, right? And Spurs keep conceding goals. They conceded, was it 4 against Newcastle? I know Isek's got a lot of pace, but Van der Ben's not slow.
Yeah. How quick was he a couple of times?
Very quick. He got back of trouble. But Spurs play with such a high line that as soon as that ball is put into either winger, Martinelli, the other side, or Saka, you sort of feel Arsenal have got more than a 50-50 chance of scoring a goal.
Do you know what they do? But for that one there, if Ben Davies just puts the brakes on, right, and goes, I don't care what happens, even if you go down the outside and score with your right foot, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, but don't let him come in.
But don't. He almost goes past Saka and goes, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
He just nips inside and goes.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because we've got so many questions to take on it. Do you think people are being a little bit harsh on Spurs? And the reason I ask that is because you're top, right? And your squad's virtually done. You might win the Premier League, you might not, but either way it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Spurs shouldn't be and haven't been that close. So why are people being a little bit too hard on Spurs?
I don't know if they've been hard on Spurs, but I think a lot of people are now starting to look at, Big Ange has been brilliant, hasn't he? But when you look at the amount of goals that they do concede, and yes, they've been good, great to watch, entertaining to watch. The goals that they concede, 4 to Newcastle, 3 to Arsenal, 10 men, 4 to Chelsea. But it's one of those where at some point you have to go, do you know what? I know we want to play this way, but just adapt. The best managers in the world can adapt to whoever they're playing against. You can't go full throttle in every single game because people work you out. The Premier League is the best league in the world. The other coaches will look at Spurs and go, well, look how wide open they are. Like Romero at some stage was centre forward.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on with that?
I thought that.
Even when he scored the goal,
I know.
I looked at the replay and went, where's he come from?
We were putting this on the WhatsApp.
Where's he come from?
I know. Spurs finished 5th. Good season?
Yeah, still say good season.
Good season. Okay. We've got lots to talk about. That's how we're going to start today's show. Loads to cram in from, of course, a very busy weekend of football. By the way, I'll explain more throughout the first hour of the show, but the last hour of the show will be down to your questions to Benny about anything from the world of football from the last weekend. So if we get to 6 o'clock, you go, we haven't even talked about Sheffield United. We are, by the way. People think we haven't even talked about Bournemouth or Brighton. You ask the question. I'll explain how you do that. The last hour of the show basically means we cover everything from the weekend's football. But we're going to start with that North London derby. If you want to have your son that, you can pick up the phone 03717 22 33 44. Dial that. You'll be next live on Drive on talkSPORT.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Drive like a winner. There's no car like a Motorpoint car.
TK Maxx are here to shake up your summer plans with headline-making, crowd-pleasing festival tickets exclusive to treasure customers. You and 3 friends could be on your way to TK Maxx presents Scarborough Open Air Theatre. Join our Treasure Rewards programme. Shop with your treasure card at TK Maxx, HomeSense or tkmaxx.com and you could be a winner. There's no summer like a TK Maxx summer. T's and C's at tkmaxx.com/festival10s.
Live on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Our double the difference price promise guarantees you won't find the same quality car for less. Terms and conditions apply.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet 10 pounds, and get 40 pounds in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
The Screwfix Bank Holiday event is now on. Make the most of the extra day off with unmissable deals. Like £30 off the Mountfield self-propelled petrol lawnmower. Now just £249.99. And save £10 on the DeWalt T-Stack tool storage system. Now only £19.99. Shop Bank Holiday deals now. On the app at screwfix.com or in store. Delivery fees may apply. Prices valid until May 6. Subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on. With up to £200 off package holidays, you can save on our already unbeatable prices. Search EasyJet Holidays. Selected dates up to the 31st of October 2025. Book by 11 p.m. the 13th of April 2024. See price guarantee online. Minimum spend required. Adult protected. T's and C's apply.
Cricket. The unmistakable sound of leather on willow.
Absolute beauty. Fireworks. Long distance. Power ballads. Anti-shirt cannons. Vitality Blast is back. Wonderful technique. Another explosive season of T20 cricket launches with Blast Off on the 30th of May. Early bird prices available until the 1st of May. Buy now. Search Vitality Blast. Selected brands only. Terms apply.
The Premier League is bigger and better than ever. Don't miss any of this season's action on talkSPORT with Now. This Saturday is Game Day, featuring talkSPORT's most full-on football-dedicated schedule ever. It's your non-stop, one-shop Premier League destination. Game Day on talkSPORT with Now. Absolutely magnificent. Stream the Premier League contract-free with a Now Sports day or month membership. 18 plus. Free via internet. Terms apply.
talkSPORT Traffic and Travel. My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat pump chiller projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
Under cameras, I can see the M4 is queuing eastbound as you head past the scene of a collision involving two cars. It's happened just by junction 8 for Maidenhead in the A404M with around 5 minutes of queues. The Essex stretch of the M11 is slow northbound after a collision between Loughton at junction 5 and the M25 turn-off. And in Surrey, there are queues on the M25 anti-clockwise after a lorry broke down just before junction 8 for Reigate. I'm Adam Moore.
Champions League live on talkSPORT.
Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain.
What was that all about? Support Act starts at 7. Main event from 8 p.m. Wednesday night on talkSPORT.
Drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein, Benty alongside a motorboy doing hundreds of nearly new Audis, BMWs and Kias online in store now. Still to come on our show, we, of course, taking a look. Another big old weekend of championship action in Bentley's EFL corner. Just quickly, a bit of breaking news. Premier League clubs have agreed in principle to introduce a spending cap. We'll get more on that later. I don't think it'll take us too much, but we'll explain all later on the show. British heavyweight Anthony Joshua says he expects to fight at Wembley Stadium in September. And the Spurs gap at Ange following the Galaxy win over Spurs yesterday, have a listen to what they both had to say about the importance of set pieces.
I thought fixing defensive set pieces was the answer to us bridging the gap and, put all my time and effort into that, but it's not where we're at.
I said before, he's phenomenal on set piece, but everything that he does for the team, he does for me. Everything has to be trained, has to be dominated. You want to compete with the team that you compete with in this league, and that's the thing. Be better every time.
Do you know what, a little bit arrogant there from Big Adam. Do you know why? Because when you look at some of the players Spurs have got, like people like Romero, these guys want to attack the ball. You've got a set place coach that can put you in positions to go attack the ball. Look at Gabriel Jesus. He gets his head on everything. Romero's the exact same.
But also, even if it improves Spurs by 1%, do it.
You've got to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a bit weird. Can you just play that bit again out? The bit of Ange, just the first bit. I don't know if you can find that.
I thought fixing defensive set pieces was the answer to us bridging the gap and, put all my time and effort into that, but it's not where we're at.
Yeah, it's worrying.
I mean, if it's going to help you, certainly defending set plays.
Even if it stops you conceding one goal.
Yeah.
You'd have drawn that game yesterday if it stopped you conceding one goal.
Yeah.
Just quickly, you're top by a point, but Man City have got a game in hand. If you could swap places so you could be second, but you'd have the game in hand, would you do it?
No.
Wouldn't?
No.
Wouldn't you?
No. I'd rather have the points on the board now.
I don't know, mate. It's 1 point.
No. It's more. Where it's 1 point on, I'd rather just.
I'd rather this position.
Would you?
You want it in your hands. It's not in your hands.
Nah, I'd rather that. Give me the 1 point.
Let's go to the finals. We're talking about Spurs and Arsenal. 03717 John is first up. Hello, John.
Hi, Jack. You okay?
We're great. How are you?
I'm alright.
What would you like to say, John?
I just wanted to discuss the biggest club.
Okay.
When he first come to the club, I was a bit unsure. I just think his arrogance and the way he wants to play is affecting us. Going back to him saying about set pieces, I think 75% of our goals this year we've conceded have been from set pieces.
Hold on, John. That's a big. Hold on, John. John, where did you that 75% from?
I'm just going by from the games that I've watched.
Right, I don't...
That most of the goals that we concede come from either a corner or a free kick. It doesn't take a mastermind, though, to work out what the issue is. And he doesn't seem to be seeing what the issue is. But I'm not being funny. We're playing Arsenal, one of the best teams probably in Europe at the moment, with Saka, who's probably one of the best wingers in Europe at the minute, and you put him with Ben Davis, who might run more with a Zimmer frame and more quicker than him. You'd stick Emerson Royale or Dragusin up against him all day of the week. His team selections are just bonkers.
Why did you play left back instead of Ben Davis?
I would have put Dragusin there, or Emerson Royale.
Emerson Royale's had his critics, hasn't he?
I'm playing there solely for the pace. Ben Davis is a good defender. Pace-wise, it killed it on Saka's goal.
Okay, let's take one more. Let's speak to Mark as an Arsenal fan. Thanks, John. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just an Arsenal fan here, and I came away from that game yesterday thinking, if we don't win the league now, I honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I think the team cannot really have any regret. This season, I think a lot of people said last season was pushing the plan for Arsenal, it was a purple patch, and you look at it this season, and they've been virtually faultless Arsenal, and I think Arteta summed it up a few weeks ago when I think Arsenal had won something like 8 or 9 of their last 10 games, and the one draw was at City. And you look at it, Arsenal were just up against an absolute machine in Man City. And you sometimes look at it and you go, could Arsenal have done any more? In any other league, you're looking at it going, oh, do you remember that period where we lost 4 or 5 games, or where we got 1 win out of 6? This league, you're having to look at it and go, oh, do you remember that week we drew a game? And that, I think, is the level that City have stayed. Now, we know there's 115 reasons why they're those levels, and hopefully that will all be through soon. But I just think, when Arsenal crash out to Bayern, everyone in the media said, right, this is it, rub their hands, they'll lose to Chelsea, they'll lose at Wolves, they'll go to Spurs and they lose. And time again, this Arsenal team has proven them wrong. And also, you can see the way they closed out the game yesterday, their management of games.
I hear what you're saying, Mark. I think you'll only prove people wrong if you win the league.
I think in any other league you could say that, but I think if you look at the facts, in the last 7 years, we've seen one team, 1 year, deny City. That was Liverpool during the COVID year. I think you look at it...
Okay, listen, I hear this argument a lot, but when Man United dominated for decades, you still had teams like Chelsea and Arsenal winning the Premier League.
But I think you look at it then, United weren't financially that dominant in the way that City can do now. There's no coincidence that we've seen one time...
I don't know. United broke the transfer record many a time. You can start... Well, you can go Rooney, you can go Rio, you can go Veron, you can go Berbatov. I mean, they spent copious amounts. Di Maria, they've always spent loads and loads of money, more than anyone else.
It's a fair point. I'll just look at it and I look at the fact, and this is just my take as an Arsenal fan. I came away from that yesterday, and I came away looking retrospectively back on this season, and I look at Arsenal and think, you've got to factor in as well Arsenal this season. This is their 3rd season back in the Champions League. Their 3rd season where they had to combine Champions League football with the league. And I think the way they've done it is just absolutely phenomenal. They're just in a league, as Arteta said a few weeks ago, you'd expect when you're winning 9 out of 10 games and the one draw is away at City, you'd be 8 to 10 points clear.
How do you say that, Mark? You've lost 5 games this season. Man City have only lost 3.
Okay, they've lost 2 more, but we've at the moment won the most games, let in the least amount of goals, scored the most goals, and I think Arsenal's season will probably come down to those 2 games against Villa, where I think they lost both games, and that I think is enough. And I'm looking at this summer with Arsenal, and so many times down the years with Arsenal, I've looked at it and gone, where do they start this summer? I'm looking at it now, and Arsenal are now in a position like City's been, where rather than looking at they need to bring in 5, 6 players, you're looking at it now going, we need 1 or 2 to find 2.
Do you know as well, Mark? It's not so much the Villa games, your home away, fair play, Villa did it. It was the West Ham at home, where they got beat by West Ham, where they absolutely dominated. Fulham, that's it. That little 6 points there.
What I won't have, right, and a good call by the way, I'm not going to have the reason we're not going to win it is because Man City are just too good. Be better. Right? But
they are unbelievable.
They are. But there are other. Look at Germany. Right? Look at that. Bayern Munich won it, 11 years on the bounce?
Yeah, and look what it's taken for Bayern Leverkusen.
I know, but what I'm saying is...
That doesn't happen. It's never happened.
No, I know it hasn't. matter. But what I'm saying is, in years where teams dominate, Man United, right, you'll get other teams that win the Premier League. I'm just not having this. You know, I'm not getting into this now where Jurgen Klopp's only won one title, and that's because Man City are be better. Be better. And of course it is. But if Arsenal don't win the league, it's not success.
No, I think it's improvements again.
Of course it is. Of course it is, but it's not success.
No, for next year.
Yeah, and if you do, that's success.
Double.
Yeah.
Maybe even treble.
Yeah, okay, well maybe we'll do double when I get on the 500, Jeremy. Still to come on the show, we'll let you decide how the show goes in tonight's talk tonight. That's from 6. You can tell us what you want to talk about from the weekend's action. I'll explain more. Oh no, I'm going to explain it now. Right, this is good. I didn't know we were doing this. So all you need to do is save 03717223344 in your phone. That's our normal number. Save it in your phone. Then open WhatsApp and send us a voice note. And in the voice note, you need to just ask Benny any question about his view on something from the weekend's football. But your message must start with, I want to talk tonight. And then ask Benny the question. A bit like WhatsApp, but we're going to embarrass you even more. So, I want to talk tonight, and then your question, 03717223344. Send it as a WhatsApp voice note now. We did that in the last hour. Before that, it's time for no Googling. Thought my voice was quite good. Yesterday, Spurs became the 16th Premier League side to concede 50 or more goals this season. Can you name, the 4 teams that are yet to concede 50 goals?
In the Premier League?
Yeah.
This season?
Now, hold on. Wait. I don't think it is easy.
It is.
I bet you won't get all 4 without Googling. It's called no Googling.
Okay.
Right, in this break, we'll have a fiver. £5 bet. I bet you won't get all 4.
Okay.
Unless you've got the answer in front of you.
No, that's
Sorry. You're such a cheat, Benny.
I'm not, I'm telling you.
You are, honestly, 03717223344 for tonight's talk tonight.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Discover Fiat 500 Dolce Vitas from just $8,999. For price verification, enter motorpoint.co.uk. Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. We're confident you won't find the same car for less elsewhere. But if you do, we're willing to pay the difference. That's our price promise guarantee.
I love golf. Some of you rugby. Golf is the boxing for me. Anything can happen.
I absolutely love darts.
And in your sport, bet Fred. Check out our huge range of sports markets, daily offers and price boosts.
I like the Saturday racing, I like the top jockeys, the top horses. Love the drama of it.
The singing,
Everything's just 100 mile an hour.
just the whole atmosphere. Bet Fred in store and online.
Top sport.
18 plus to gamble where at home.
Need help to grow your business online? Vodafone Business presents Digital SOS with me, Stephen Barker.
Going digital is everything nowadays.
That's really good. Really got help.
If your business is struggling with its digital skills, Vodafone Business has got you covered. Vodafone VHub is a free place to go to for small business support and practical guidance. Search Vodafone VHub now, and you can book a free consultation with a VHub advisor today.
Nothing beats the Jet Two holidays. So count on us to make sure your summer holidays worth every penny. With over 50 sunny destinations, an amazing choice of 2 to 5-star hotels, and 22 kilograms of baggage included. Book summer now with just £60 deposit per person and spread the cost with flexible monthly payments. Jet 2 holidays. Package holidays you can trust. Financial protected. Subject to availability conditions.
The McDonald's Chicken Big Mac is back, but not for long. So don't miss out on the 3 layers of soft bun. Don't miss out on the iconic, delicious Big Mac sauce. Those crisp, tender chicken patties. That fresh shredded lettuce. That melty cheese. And that delicious turkey. Unless you want it. Don't regret it. Get it. From 11 a.m. until the 28th of May. Subject to availability. Participating on shop only.
I'm Martin Samuel. I write a column for the Times and Sunday Times, and you can read my take on the weekend's football every Monday online or through our app. You'll also find the latest views and exclusive football features. Enjoy the Game podcast, the football newsletter, and in-depth tactical analysis from John. A digital subscription is just £1 for 3 months. Subscribe with Google or visit thetimes.co.uk/talksport to join. Also renews at £26 a month and is cancelled.
On 10:29 and 10:53 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.
afternoon. The UK will not take back migrants who've already crossed the border into Ireland, despite Ireland wanting it to. The UK government says the EU would not do the same with people who cross the Channel from France. Ireland Deputy Leader Micheál Martin says they do have to find an agreement.
These agreements have to be mutual. No one country can put something back if there's not a reciprocal agreement and it works both ways.
The race has begun for the next First Minister of Scotland, following Humza Yousaf's resignation earlier. A new SNP-led leader will have to be elected. However, Deputy Chairman of the Scottish Conservatives, Jonathan Gillis, thinks it all strengthens the case against Scottish independence.
The case for unionism, the case for a United Kingdom, has never been stronger, and this is good news for all unionist parties across the House, regardless of whether they're Labour, Conservative or Liberal Democrat.
A man has admitted killing a pensioner on a mobility scooter in London 2 years ago. 45-year-old Lee Byer had a string of previous convictions and had just been released from prison. He denied murder but admitted manslaughter because of paranoid schizophrenia.
Looking for professional grade sealants that offer technologically advanced performance. Choose Frosted Pro Sealants.
Premier League clubs have voted in favour of a spending cap, and more reactions to our investigation into whether female football is being let down by boot manufacturers. More from Will at 5.
This Saturday is game day.
On talkSPORT 2. Feel the might of the spotlight and witness the thrills and skills from the world's biggest football league.
How about that? 2 big games every week, followed by a full-on football phone-in after the final whistle.
What a magnificent finish!
Game day this Saturday.
On talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
It's the show on talkSPORT. Me and goals. Yeah, I was waiting for that little gap. It's good. Talk about answer questions. Spurs yesterday became the 16th Premier League side to concede 50 or more goals this season. Can you name the 4 teams that haven't? Martin? Yeah, I mean you've got the answer in front of me, but yeah.
But Arsenal have been one. Man City have been obviously another. And then the only other one I would have said, the only other one I would have said is Everton because he's had a goal as well.
Right. One more you got.
No. Liverpool.
I know you cheated.
I don't know.
Yeah, this season seen the most sides concede 50 or more goals in an English top flight season, consisting of 20 clubs since 1909. That's unbelievable, little stat.
United.
Now, rumours have been circulating this week around the future of Mohamed Salah after he busted up the o'clock on Saturday. The Liverpool forward has been linked to the move to Saudi Arabia over the last 12 months. So let's get more on this now with talkSPORT Saudi football reporter Ben Jacobs joins. Hello, Ben Jacobs. How are you?
Good afternoon, gents. How are you?
We're good. This seems to be a story that won't go away. Is it not going to go away for a particular reason?
It's not going to go away, but by the same token, I think from Liverpool's perspective, the Klopp-Salah altercation is almost an opportunity to lay out their cards. And what we discussed on talkSPORT and what's been reiterated in the last 24 hours is from Liverpool's perspective, they want to keep Mo Salah. My understanding is that Arne Slot during his he said exactly the same thing. So you have 2 clear choices. Does Mo Salah help with the transition of the new era, or does Mo Salah go and be sold and help fund a new era? And at the moment, the former is more likely than the latter. Liverpool want to keep Salah. Salah hasn't yet given the green light to Saudi Arabia. You may remember the last time we spoke, I said Saudi are going to be patient. So 2024 is possible, but maybe 2025. And perhaps that's more likely. And one reason for that financially is that the television rights within Saudi Arabia, in Egypt in particular, in the Middle East area, which is Saudi Sports Channel, that has already been sold until 2025. So if Salah goes in 2025, then first of all, from his perspective, it might be a free transfer so he can get a bigger signing on fee. And then from the Saudis' perspective, they can leverage that and they can go to their Middle East partners and say, you've got to pay more. And you would think that in Egypt, for example, they would want to do that. So it might actually be more lucrative for Saudi Arabia and for Salah to go in 2025, not 2024.
When you look at Mohamed Salah, and as you said, I think he's got 1 year left on his contract.
At the moment, yeah, of course it could be extended by a year, but if he's a free transfer, then he'll be in a position where obviously he can ask for more money, much like Kylian Mbappe at the moment.
Because that would be a really difficult situation for Liverpool to be in, because you've got one of the greatest players to ever grace these shores, Mohamed Salah, certainly in the Premier League era. And if Saudi are going to buy him, I'm guessing it's going to be around the £100 million mark because of everything that he brings to the Saudi league. But if Liverpool are allowing him to walk away for nothing, surely Liverpool have got to make a decision this summer.
Well, I think Liverpool will take a number of things into consideration. I think that's the value of Mo Salah should leave on a free transfer. Thiago Alcantara is in a position where people are talking to him about free contracts, so they have been in this position before. But you're absolutely right. If Liverpool can have their cake and eat it, and it's the right time in their view for Salah to go, and in addition they can pocket up to 100 million, it becomes win-win. I think we should point out, despite this 150 million number total package offered by Al Ittihad, and that was the offer that was placed to Mike Gordon via the phone, the Saudi side are intimating they're thinking more around the £70 million mark, which is what Neymar went for when he moved from PSG to Al Hilal. There'll be bonuses on top, but the money perhaps won't be quite as high as some are reporting, simply because of age and the fact that that contract is ticking down.
Mate, listen, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on. Have a great day.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
You too, the talkSPORT Saudi football. Ben Jacobs, just a quick word from you on this. I'm leaning more towards the fact that with a year left, they need to cash in. They cannot afford for him to go for nothing. Even 75 million sounds a bargain, but he's not getting any younger. They're not going to offer him another 2-3 year deal at that age. Cash in.
Yeah, it's a hard one because again, Salah's been fantastic, hasn't he? But you're right. If you're going to let him walk away for nothing, then that's I think would be a tough pill to swallow. But if they were to get 7-8 million for him, and he's going to the Saudi League, which doesn't really impact Liverpool's meeting in Europe or anything, then yeah, I'll take him. But it's a tough decision because he's been one of their greats.
Yeah. We'll talk about him and Klopp from 5. If you want to have your Saturday, download to 717 2233 Right, time now to look back on this weekend's top stories. Thanks to our friends at 3.
3 and 3 on talkSPORT with 3. Football needs a big network. Keep connected to the teams you like on 3.
Yes, this is our 3-3 Premier League review in partnership with 3. We've got 3 big talking points and Benty. We've got a minute sort of to discuss each of them. Let's start off with Everton gaffer Sean Dyche, who left a voice note, would you believe, Nigel side officially secured Premier League safety with a 1-0 win over the mighty Brentford. He says
it's hard, I recently said that, mastering the art of juggling sand is difficult, and that's how it's felt at times, but that's the challenge. Obviously the goalposts moved considerably when I got the job. The job wasn't none of this was moved, and it wasn't that kind of viewpoint at the club. It did happen, and then it's how you handle it, how you manage it, and I've been pleased with that, because it's not an easy task, and within that, of course, it's the strangest thing that people then attach it to you, and I'm like, oh, well, hang on a minute, I want me to probably 8 points, I was trying to get 8 points back, not give them away. So to come through that and keep focused on the job and manage it, I've been very pleased with it.
Mark, Sean Dyche out of 10 for me for this season at Everton.
I mean, he's kept them up with the points deduction resources. Yesterday it's probably like 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Because of lack of points deductions, lack of form, not much money to spend, if any. Had to be quite shrewd in terms of some of the players he brought in, but no, he's done a great job. He's took the suit off, put the tracksuit on. Best decision he ever made.
Yeah. When do the expectations of Liverpool start moving from avoid relegation to Everton, avoid relegation to securing the top 10?
I guess once all these financial situations behind them and they know no more's coming, then you can start to look for that. Next season you hope that's all done and dusted. They can start to try and move up the league, because I think Sean Dyche can certainly. He finished 7th with Burnley.
Yeah.
There's no reason why he can't do.
But by the way, have you seen their stadium? The new one?
Looks lovely.
It looks incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of new stadiums.
On the docks.
Just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks a little bit like Spurs. They all would look similar.
Yeah.
But wow. It's so important.
It's more of an arena now than a...
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Would you believe we've got another voice note then? Now we have Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola has been speaking about how difficult it will be for his side to finish any higher up the table.
It's going to be very difficult to get even one more point. I know that we are playing against teams that they are playing really well. They are finishing strong the season. Now we are thinking Arsenal. We are fighting for the title. Imagine the game we have in front. And now, truly, I'm thinking in recovering bodies, because today we were really thin. You saw a lot of, even we didn't feel the bench today, different players. And now definitely we are going to lose Antoine, so we have to regroup, recover well, and try to finish strongly.
Very strange answer that. One more point, because they play Arsenal, I get it, but they play Brentford and Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they can't beat Chelsea and Brentford.
No, I know, but you're never going to get a manager say categorically we're going to do this.
Well, he said that he can't come and go with 1 point.
No, he can't. You're right. But when has a manager ever come out and said we're going to do this, we're going to do that? It's very rarely happened.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But he has done incredibly well. I mean, they're 10th now. Here's a little stat for you. If the Premier League would have started on November the 1st when he took over, they would be 5th.
Yeah, incredible.
That is an unbelievable job, isn't it?
People questioned him, and I certainly questioned him at the start.
Yeah, me too.
He got off to a bad start. But the football they're playing, they're free scoring. Solanke's had the season of his life. Really good job. Obviously beating Brighton 3-0, who have fallen off cliff, by the way. Beating Wolves away from home with 10 men.
Why have Brighton fallen off cliff? Is it they're on the beach?
I don't know what it is, but I know injuries have played a massive part, but they have just gone poof.
They haven't, they?
Falling off. But no, fair play to Iriola and Bournemouth. Really good season. If they finish in the top half, incredible.
Yeah. Eddie Howe's Newcastle smashed Sheffield United 5-1 on Saturday, and we actually had a missed call from him. Acting now. Let's call the drive time voicemail to see if he left us a message. Dial it up, would you? Voicemail service on 037 1722 334.
Since January, we've been consistent in some of our results. We've been harder to beat. There's still loads to improve, in my opinion. I still feel we can get better. But we're going in the right direction, and yeah, we've got 4 big games to come, and certainly 6 is what we're aiming for.
Still don't know why they said do the voicemail in a robot voice. I mean, no voice. Anyway. I don't know if it was an unbelievable win or they're just playing a really poor side. Probably a mix of both, right? But with Eddie Howe securing maybe a top 7 finish, I think that puts to bed any questions about whether or not he's the right man for next season.
You know, that's where I think they should be, in and around 7th.
Yeah, they overachieved last season.
Massively.
Yeah, I agree.
I think where they are now is 7th. I think that's where I'd put Twickenham, like anywhere between 6, 7, 8, something like that. So to bounce back against Sheffield United, I mean, absolutely, I think it's 13 goals in 2 games against Sheffield United, holding them away, which is insane.
Yeah.
Bounce back after that result against Palace, where they got beat. Palace is going well, by the way. But
What that goal of the weekend? We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, for Newcastle and Eddie Howe, yeah, next season now they can look forward to another season potentially in Europe.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. They've got to sort out the situation, the FFP, and who they can keep, who they've got to sell, who they can bring in. Because the nucleus is there of a good team, but there's no point losing Isaac or Ramirez, and then having to bring someone else in. You're taking a step backwards then.
That was a look back at the top stories this weekend. Thanks to our friends at 3.
3 in 3 on talkSPORT with 3, the UK's fastest 5G network. Verify at 3.co.uk/talknetwork.
Now, the last hour of the show, we don't have a Premier League game to build up to, so one of the things we're doing is a feature where you can get involved by leaving a voice note. It's called Talk Tonight, so you must leave your voice note. It must start with, I want to talk tonight about, but you must sing that little bit. Right? Like the Wasted Track. See what that's like. But anything we've spoken about there, or maybe we've missed stuff out during the show, if you save our number, 03717223334, save that in your phone under TalkSport, and then go back into your WhatsApp, find it, and leave a voice note on that. We'll play it out, and Benji can answer any questions you've got for us about the weekend's football.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Discover Fiat 500 Dolce Vitas from just $8,999. For price verification, visit motorpoint.co.uk. Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Hundreds of new Audis, BMWs and Kias online and in store now.
The Screwfix Bank Holiday event is now on. Make the most of the extra day off with unmissable deals. Like the Titan 150-bar electric high-pressure washer, now only $119.99. That's a saving of £20. And buy one, get one half price on all Ronseal products, including Ronseal Fence Life Plus. Shop Bank Holiday deals now, on the app at screwfix.com or in store. Delivery fees may apply. Prices valid until May 6, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for T's and C's.
Bally Casino has arrived. The American gaming experience is now in the UK. But when it's time to take a break, Bally Casino also has a range of tools to help you stay in control. You can set deposit limits, get session reminders, and cool off for regular breaks. With these tools, you can stay in control, manage gameplay, and play responsibly on Bally. 18+. Play responsibly. BeGambleAware.org.
Searching for a holiday? Here's an idea. Don't type cheap flights to wherever into your browser. You know you do it. Search kayak instead. Let us do the finding for you. All the great flight deals from hundreds of travel sites, all in one place. Go on, do it, do it. Listen to the waves, they're calling your name. Not literally, obviously, unless your name is... Kayak. Kayak. You're thinking about it, aren't you? Search Kayak and go see for yourself.
Don't miss out on the best bits this summer. Watch tennis on your Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE whilst catching rays. The races whilst at a party. The 100-metre sprint whilst at a wedding, if you dare. Or any sport whilst you're roaming at home with your tablet. Plus, claim 3 buds FE with your purchase at Currys. Win-win. And hopefully, win. Wi-Fi connection required. Purchase by 30th of May 2024 from Currys. Claim buds FE in white from Samsung.com within 30 days of purchase. T's and C's apply.
Got a paintwork scratch, bumper scuff or minor dent? Want it fixed like new? Of course you do. At Chips Away we don't judge, we just fix it. Enter a few details online for a free, no obligation estimate. We'll come to you or you can visit one of our car care centres. For professional, affordable car body repairs with a lifetime guarantee, visit chipsaway.co.uk. Chips Away, like it never happened.
Did you know? With Seresto, you can fit and forget about your pet's flea and tick treatment for the next 7 to 8 months in just one application. Seresto Flea and Tick Control Collar provides long-lasting, clinically proven flea and tick protection for both cats and dogs. So you can say goodbye to monthly applications and hello to long-lasting protection. Simply fit and forget about fleas and ticks with Seresto from now until October. Find out more at seresto.co.uk and to find your local store.
Tuesday night, the Champions League live on talkSPORT.
High intensity, expressive football.
Oh, that's magnificent!
Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid.
Build up and banter from 7. Kick off 8 o'clock. Rock. Tuesday night on talkSPORT. Sensational goal!
9 goals coming. talkSPORT.
I shouldn't talk yet because you can't know when to spoil the song, aren't I? I shouldn't talk over it. Maybe. It's Joe on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bennett, Mobile Points, score hat-trick on a new car with the warranty, same-day driveway. Saving them thousands of pounds. Just quickly, Chelsea defender Thiago Silva will leave the club at the end of the season. And Premier League clubs have agreed in principle, whether that means to introduce a spending cap. We'll get more on that later on in the show. Before we move on, Benty and I are watching marathon running on the screens. That's how exciting our lives are. And there's a young lady running at the moment. I'm guessing she's leading. And she's, I mean, it looks like she's doing about 18 miles an hour.
Yeah, she's flying.
Right? And Betty just said, when she crosses the finishing line, do you reckon she's knackered?
Yeah.
Do you reckon she's like, she's just run a marathon? Or is she like tired because she's just done what she does and like a 1500-metre runner will be tired? Is she that tired? I don't know the answer to that.
It's a crazy one because often when you see some of the elite marathon runners across the finish line,
Yeah.
they're not even breathing. So I think
What do you mean, not breathing?
like they're almost just like
Alright, they just nip to the pub toilet.
yeah, so I'm thinking run faster then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But also, we need a marathon runner to come on. When they run,
Yeah, we do need a marathon runner to phone up.
is it more about rhythm than actually just get?
I don't know how you get. I mean, she's just running, right?
Yeah, but that's rhythm, right? So you get your stride going, and then because it's like, you know, we were just talking there. When you're doing it on your own, and you've got to step down the hill, it's almost like
it puts you off your rhythm.
It puts you off your stride, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, if you broke your ankle.
Yeah. But is it more about the rhythm, or is it just?
Do you reckon when she finishes, what was she doing? 2 hours 30? Something like that?
So
Okay. Is she absolutely shattered?
No. I don't think so.
Like she's run a marathon?
We'll soon find out.
Because she's coming
She's been running for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
If you're a proper certified marathon runner...
Yeah, at good level. I don't need you running as a fridge.
No. What?
I don't want you running as a fridge.
If you run as a fridge, let me know. 037172233 to 4. Right, time to take a look at this week's EFL action in partnership with McDonald's.
EFL update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Bring on the unbeatable strike partnership of McNuggets and Dip. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Yeah, time now for Benny's EFL Corner. We're going to take a look back at some of the weekend's EFL action. Let's start with Leicester, of course, officially promoted back to the Premier League. Well done them at the weekend. After QPR beat Leicester 4-0, that's not right.
Leeds 4-0.
Leeds, yeah. Enzo Maresca's side take on Preston tonight, live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 at 8. He spoke after the game about how special it is to be the position they are.
It's good feeling, to be honest. It's very, very long season. Championship, it's unbelievable. You know better than me anyway.
place that we are now. It's a good feeling.
Are Leicester worthy winners? I mean, they led for so long, for so many points as well they led by, and then of course the gap went smaller and smaller, then there were question marks. I think, they are the worthy winners, right?
Do you know what, they are the worthy winners, and with the squad that they had, they assembled at the start of the season, the likes of Harry Winks, they managed to keep hold of some of their good players, and Didi and Jude Rules, good players, Vardy, scoring goals. Yeah, for me, they were the best side in the division. Yes, they had their wobbles, but they reacted really well, and fair play to them.
It'd be interesting to see what happens next season in Premier League with the points deduction.
Well, they better hope they don't start on -10.
Yeah.
But no, fair play to Leicester. Really enjoyed watching them play. Mavrididi and Fatawu, good players they've got in their squad, good players.
We talked about Leeds moments ago, over to them now. They fell apart. Oh my, no one saw this one getting smashed 4-0. They remain level on 90 points with Ipswich, who have a game in hand tomorrow. That's against Everton. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT, ahead of the final game of the weekend season. The manager, Daniel Farke, spoke after the defeat. He said his side were not considering the thought of playoffs right now.
No, we will see. So we'll just give up the fight for automatic promotion when it's really done. We're from game day 1 in the chasing role. Nothing has changed right now after 45 games. If Ipswich is able to win both next games, we have no chance anymore. Then we are the first who say congratulations to Ipswich. But let's see. If not, if they don't win both games, then there is a chance on the last game day. And yes, this league is crazy, and for that you always have to believe in yourself and stick together.
So, just to go over it, you played 46 games. Leeds have played 45, they're on 90 points. Ipswich have played 44, they're on 90 points. Where's your money?
Well, do you know what? Leeds.
Ipswich got Coventry in this, right?
Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah, right.
I just spoke about that, didn't I? Sorry.
It's one of those. Leeds have won one of their last 5. And even that one was the Middlesbrough, which was one of the goals was offside.
Yeah.
Right, so they're a bit patchy. But getting smashed at QPR was one of those where I just worry. I feel that. Do you know what? I feel sorry. I mean, I think it should do it. I'm more than got up in Celsius, I think they will. I feel sorry for the team that finishes 3rd. Because it will be like you've hit a wall, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, we've got to go to the playoffs.
Can I just ask a question? I think I'm right in saying, when they named, or even put the names up for manager of the season in the Championship...
McKenna wasn't there?
No, McKenna was. Enzo Maresca's name wasn't. Now, say what you like, if they go up as champions, Leicester, there's something wrong with that voting system.
Yeah. But even Somerville won the player of the season.
Yeah.
And he would have been mine. Jude Rules would have been. Or even maybe Vardy.
Still, the fact that Maresca wasn't even amongst the nominees is that...
Yeah.
So look at Joe, look at me, oh, it's all about Kieran McKenna. If you take the team up, I'm told the Championship's hardest division to get out of.
Yeah, it is.
If you win it, I think you should get all the applause.
I get that, but Ipswich now, it's all in their hands. It's all in their hands because Leeds can only get 3 more points. Ipswich got the possibility of getting 6. So it's all in Ipswich's hands.
Okay. Finally, a quick word about the rest of the EFL. We saw Derby and Portsmouth both promoted to League One. Cheltenham, Fleetwood, Port Vale and Carlisle were all relegated. How great is it to see Derby back in the Championship?
Yeah, brilliant. Great club. Enjoyed my time there. Still speak to people regularly from the football club. Adam Storer is probably listening. Shout him out. Player liaison. Really, really good club. I mean, did you see the amount of fans on the pitch?
At the end of it?
Incredible. Really good fan base. And
yeah,
I've
mixed views on that, but go on.
Big club. Like, glad to see them back in the
Championship. Yeah, I agree with
Massive club.
Okay. That was a look back at this week's EFL action in partnership with our friends at McDonald's.
EFL update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Bring on the ultimate dream team. The classic quarter pounder with cheese and a side of fries. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Now, one of the big talking points from the weekend's football was just off the pitch rather than just on it, and I'm alluding to, of course, Salah and Klopp. Who was right, who was wrong? Betty and I disagree on this. So who was right, who was wrong, and how do you fix this problem? Why are you looking at me like that?
We didn't disagree.
Yeah, we did disagree.
We didn't. We didn't talk about it.
We talked about it in the meeting. What are you talking about?
I didn't disagree.
You did? No. Who do you think is right?
Well, the manager's always right in the scenario.
Oh, right. I thought we disagreed. We agree. What do you make of it? 03717 223344.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Score a hat-trick with unbeatably priced cars. All with warranty and checked by experts.
TK Maxx are here to shake up your summer plans with headline-making, crowd-pleasing festival tickets exclusive to treasure customers. You and 3 friends could be on your way to TK Maxx Presents Scarborough Open Air Theatre. Join our Treasure Rewards programme. Shop with your treasure card at TK Maxx, HomeSense or tkmaxx.com and you could be a winner. There's no summer like a TK Maxx summer. T's and C's at tkmaxx.com/festival terms.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Discover Fiat 500 Dolce Vitas from just $8,999. For price verification, go to motorpoint.co.uk.
Nice grooming. It must be great with Skull Shaver products. Smooth and fast head shaving experience with Pitbull Shaver. 90 seconds and done. For face shaving, one light shaver with innovative features. Do you need a simple haircut? Use Beast Clipper. 5 minutes and done. Do you need to shave your back or somewhere else? We have easy and fast solutions. For ladies, beautiful and fast butterfly kiss shaver. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 5-star reviews worldwide. Find out what's new in grooming at skullshaver.co.uk.
Get the KFC 20 hot wings bucket for just $7.99. You heard right, that's just 40p per wing. A serious sized bucket for a seriously small price. The 20 hot wings bucket deal for just $7.99. Do the deal until the 9th of June, only at KFC. Available until the 9th of June 2024, subject to availability. Participating restaurants only. See website for full T's and C's.
Woohoo! Dave's finally landed. Holiday mode activated when he remembers.
Oh, I forgot to send that email.
Luckily, Dave has swapped out his sports package for data roaming. So he can get back to his holiday.
Lovely.
Dave, you did put your out of office on, didn't you? Get inclusive extras as part of your plan, but you can swap monthly. So you can switch from your sports package to a Roma Broad Pass.
Me Emo. Available for all-rounder and full works plans. Certified.
We're not a bit Spanish. We're not big Spanish. Somewhat Spanish or Spanish. Estrella Galicia Cerveza is 100% Spanish. Just look for the label. Brewed slowly for 5 generations in A Coruña, using the finest Galician ingredients. So as a 100% authentic Spanish beer, it's time we say, cheers to the pretenders. We'll take it from here. Estrella Galicia. Spanish, not Spanish.
Oh, football, you've got to love it. The thrills, the spills, the absolute limbs. But in all the excitement, make sure you keep your feet on the ground with all the latest sporting news every weekday afternoon from 1 with Hawksby and Jacobs.
This is Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs.
And not forgetting all the latest form and odds with Paddy Power. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. With Paddy's Super Sub, your bet now rolls over to the new player coming on.
T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. Be governed by motor. On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.
Listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Me, Eddie Goldstein, Darren Bent alongside. When we come back, we are talking about the argument, if you want to call it that, between Salah and Klopp. Who's right, who's wrong, who deserves more respect, and what happens now? How do you solve that problem? 037172233. I know loads of Liverpool fans want to have their say on that. I think you'll be divided amongst you. Will Hobbs has got all the sport headlines for us.
talkSPORT Sports Update with Trusted Trader. When you need a job doing brilliantly, that's a job for the Trusted Trader professionals. talkSPORT.
Thanks, Andy. Good evening. It looks like we have an alternative to profit and sustainability rules. Premier League clubs have agreed a spending cap. It looks like the cap would be the lowest amount earned by a club in TV revenue, times by 5. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, says the Manchester sides voted against the plan and Chelsea abstained.
Chelsea are, surprise, over the threshold. It was to be 5 times. City just underneath it, but on the borderline, and similar when it comes to Manchester United.
The cap still needs confirmation next month. Billy Villapola's denied being violent at a bar in Mallorca, despite being tasered and then arrested. Local police have claimed he assaulted an officer after security at the bar couldn't restrain him. Following a fast-track trial, Villapola paid a €240 fine. Nike is yet to respond to questions after claims it's not doing enough to design football boots for women. Experts have told talkSPORT because men and women have different body mechanics, female athletes deserve tailored equipment. Former Lioness talkSPORT's Leanne Sanderson had this to say.
I do sometimes get really annoyed when people say we're doing research. And I'm like, well, what research are you doing? And they never really seem to have an answer. It's just almost like they're reading off the script.
More can be found on talkSPORT.com. Ahead of the showdown that will crown the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, George Groves told talkSPORT as a clear favourite.
Not just their most recent performances, but over their pool of the past 2 years' work. You've got to
And the London Marathon's seen a record number of applicants for the 2025 race. Over 840,000 people have registered. Places will be confirmed in July.
talkSPORT News.
The UK still doesn't want to accept migrants from Ireland after a meeting of politicians from both sides. And the unofficial race for the next First Minister of Scotland has begun following council use
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This spring, fitting new tyres is much easier than you think at home or work with our mobile tyre fitting service. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Damp and breezy overnight across the north and west. Heavy rain later in the southwest. Much drier in the southeast.
Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT Drive. Sportsman afternoon radio, driven by you.
To the motorway of sport.
talkSPORT Drive.
Welcome back to our number 2 Drive on talkSPORT with me, Anna Goldstein. Darren, by the way, Darren Bent. Still got them out of you. Last hour, speak to the producer. But look at me like a man. Still to come on the show, be hearing who former Newcastle boss Alan Pardew thinks should take over from Eric Ten Hag and Man United at the end of the season. Now, though, who was in the right, Jurgen Klopp or Mohamed Salah?
And although the love may not linger at West Ham, it certainly will at Liverpool. There may be relationships that are coming towards an end.
He declined to be interviewed Mo Salah and then said, if I speak today, there will be fire.
Just quickly about what happened on the touchline with Salah. Is everything okay between the two of you?
Yeah, we spoke about that in the dressing room.
Type of thing potentially happens with frustration on former Salah and knowing that the manager's leaving the football club.
It's unfortunate, really, because two iconic figures fighting with each other, or certainly verbally having to go with each other, is not a great scene. Not a great scene for Liverpool.
Something is not quite right at Liverpool Football Club, and that could well be an understatement.
I think it is Adrian, Darren, I really do. You finished?
Yeah, good tune.
03717 23344.
What are you doing?
What, just a boy?
That's just sing that tune.
Oh, right, fine. You can have your say on all things Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp. This all happened on the sideline at West Ham. You just heard of bits and pieces of that from the weekend. Ultimately, it looked like, from where we were, that Klopp wanted to say something to him and was holding him just before they went on. Salah broke free and then Klopp called him back and it was like, no, I'm not having any of that.
Well, do you know what? Looking at that scenario, and I've been in one similar, which I'll tell you about in a minute.
Yeah.
When you see it from the actual very, very start, right, it's one of those where there's a camera that's quite high up and you quite clearly see, I think Jurgen Klopp goes over to Salah to kind of say to him, right, you're coming on now. And Salah's doing his ace, whatever he's doing, and he doesn't even acknowledge him. And after about 3 seconds, that's when he turns around and gives him a little yeah. So obviously he's gone over, I think Jurgen Klopp's gone over to Salah to kind of say, like, about his attitude going on the pitch. And when you come on, 79 minutes and 10 minutes left, he's probably gone over to him to say, like, come on, look at their attitude, come on. And then Salah's gone back and gone, there's nothing wrong with my attitude. And that's what it looks like to me. But I remember being at Villa with Paul Lambert, and I was dropped for no reason. We played West Brom. And, mate, when you feel you should be playing and you're not playing, it's hard to take. Now, listen, I didn't disrespect him like Salah did. I weren't having a full-blown argument like Salah did, but you are a little bit cold towards the manager. You are a little bit cold because you're annoyed. But that there on the sideline, and I think what disappoints me more about that situation is that they're two legends of Liverpool. The manager and Salah, two of Liverpool's greats. You don't want to see them both. One of them's already leaving, we know, in Jurgen Klopp. You don't want that to be the last kind of thing you remember when it comes to them two. Because I've got such respect for both of them. And when you see them going at it like that, and again, I'm on Jurgen Klopp's team. I know Salah's annoyed that he's not starting. And listen, if I'm the manager, I'll play Salah regardless. I'll play him especially in the title run. Even if he's not playing well.
You said it, but you don't know if they've had words behind the scene. You don't know that.
I get that, but I would play Salah if, for face value, I'm playing Salah every single week.
I know, but if you're falling out with him, or you're not...
But you're pushing for a title. And out there, every attacker they've got on that pitch, he's their best source of attack.
I agree with you. If it's a fan picking it and we don't know the relationship between the two, you don't know the conversations Klopp had with Salah this week.
Yeah, potentially, but
he might have strolled into training without caring as well, 20 minutes late, not even apologised to the gaffer.
I've never ever heard. Listen,
I'm not saying he has for one moment.
But my point is, I've never heard that. You know, Hembo's my mate.
Yeah.
He spoke about Salah before. The most professional person.
I know that. You have told me that. You've told me that. But you have to admit, there's something's obviously not right between the two.
He's annoyed that he's not playing.
I know, but there's a reason why he's dropped him.
Because he feels his form's not been good enough.
Well, there you go.
But
he's the manager.
Even if Salah on a bad day, I would still pick him rather than any of the...
Everyone's droppable. You can't be in a position...
What, when you push for a title? The guy's got 17 Premier League goals. 17, and he's in a bad season.
I know, but Jurgen Klopp's the manager. You have to respect it. If I was the manager, if I was Jurgen Klopp...
You're playing him every week.
No. If I'm the manager... No. If I'm the manager, Jurgen Klopp, and I have that little fracas with Salah, he ain't going on. I'll be like, oh, go sit down.
So you're going to cut your nose off the
Yeah, 100%. I'll cut my nose off. It's a big old nose. Got to cut off. But yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, you can't treat the manager like that.
The guy's got over 20 goals again this season.
Mate, you cannot show weakness.
Right.
You cannot show it.
At no point am I blaming Jurgen Klopp because I'm not. He's the manager. I'm Salah should react that way.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Salah's annoyed because he's not playing.
Of course he is, and that's great to hear that everyone wants to play. But ultimately, Jurgen Klopp is the reason, or a big reason, why Liverpool have won the Premier League.
That's so Salah.
Yes, without a doubt. But it's Klopp that picks the team.
But again, I'm not agree with what Salah did.
If someone's right and someone's wrong, who's right and who's wrong?
Oh, Jurgen Klopp's right. He's the manager.
Oh, right, okay.
But, and you can't show him disrespect. But my only point is, I remember when it happened to Ronaldo and Ten Hag.
Yeah, I backed him. Yeah, it was Ten Hag.
And there were some fans going, nah, Ten Hag's in the wrong.
I know, but that's nuts.
Nuts!
And I totally get how important Mohamed Salah is, right? He's, what is it, 20 more goals in the last 7 seasons?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to push for Premier League glory, he has to play.
Yeah.
Right? When we talked about this in the meeting, Notan Dan said Barca would never drop Messi, right?
Yeah, Messi and Salah, that's different. No, it's coming. Messi's the greatest player we've ever seen.
But do you remember when, who was it, who was in charge of Newcastle and dropped Alan Shearer?
Ruud Gullit.
It was Ruud Gullit.
He dropped him and Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah, right. Now, I'm not saying that what he did was right. It was probably, well, it was wrong, right? Because Shearer's a genius.
Yeah.
But he's the manager. The buck stops with him.
I get that, but I just think with Mohamed Salah, yes, he should react that way. And listen, Jurgen Klopp's well within his rights to pick and choose who he wants. I just still feel like I would, in the run-ins for a title, I would play Salah more than not. Also, as well, it's not even like Jurgen Klopp's here next season. So even if he's thinking, you know what, let me see how the team looks without Salah because he might not be here next season. Klopp's not there next season. So I would play Salah regardless.
Okay. All right, we'll take calls on that, right? I think that we both think Klopp's in the right and should have more respect from any player. Well, let's not single out Salah, any player.
Yeah.
You don't talk to your manager like that, right? And if it was me, I would have gone, big tracksuit back on.
I'd love to know what was said though.
Well,
no, because something clearly was said that set Salah off. Because you don't usually react.
No.
So something must have
been building, obviously. We'll take calls on that 0371722334. We can't talk about that game and not talk about that moment from with Gakpo and Areola.
Andy Taylor.
Dan made a very good point. He made some good points today, Dan. Anthony Taylor. Is it Michael Oliver?
Yeah.
2 referees are going to the Euros. Michael Oliver. He
missed the Declan Rice smash.
And then you've got Anthony Taylor. I don't know what Anthony Taylor has done in that game, other than realise when he stopped Gakpo from scoring, instantly realised he's made a mistake. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. And then he's gone up to Areola and go, oh, I think you need some video. It's so bizarre.
We need to find out what he was exactly said to
Areola.
Yeah, because when he went back to Areola after he blew the whistle, and again, there's an...
And he's standing going, oh, absolutely fine.
There's some great camera angles this weekend. When you look at the camera angle, you can see above the benches and that whole situation where Andy Taylor's doing. When he's waving to the side for the physio to come on, there's no physio inside.
No.
So who's he waving to? It's almost like, please, just get on the pitch.
To anyone.
Anyone
with a bag.
Honestly.
If Gakpo scores that goal, we have got a world of problems.
World of problems. Because he didn't give a foul. He gave the signal to play on. Areola, I don't know what Areola's doing. In my head, Areola must think he's given a foul. Because when he rolls the ball forward to take the goal kick or free kick, he then goes down to do his socks up.
Yeah.
And doesn't see Gakpo coming.
And also when Gakpo comes, he sort of waves him like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. So, well, it's one of those where...
But again, that's the goalkeeper's fault. That's the referee's fault.
Just blow the whistle. In the very instance, just blow the whistle.
That was nuts, wasn't it?
Nuts.
Every week we have nuts. Yeah, it's getting a little bit silly. Listen, by the way, a reminder, of course, if you want to ask Benny any questions from the weekend's football, you can in a voice note. All you need to do is save our number 0371722334 in your phone. Then head over to WhatsApp, open up WhatsApp, and leave a voice note with your question about anything from the weekend's football. But your question must start with, I want to talk tonight, and then you have to sing it. I want to talk, that kind of thing. And then your question. 0371722334 is the number. Usually, I'm guessing it's stuff we haven't covered yet, but what we are covering is, of course, Salah against Klopp. Who is right, who is wrong? We'll take your calls in just a moment. 03717 223344.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Discover 73 plate BMW 1 Series from just $2,500 toolstation.co.uk.
Listeners, we uncovered the reason why Britain hasn't been so great of late is because the country hasn't been eating enough Weetabix. So to whoever's in charge of fixing potholes, to VAR and people who somehow managed to park over 2 bays, we must say, have you had your Weetabix?
Uno is now available in McDonald's Happy Meal. So let's see who can shout Uno first.
Bring it on.
Yes, yes, ooh, no, a wild card. Right, yes, back in the game. Yes, ooh, no, I draw 1 card.
Uno. Better luck next time.
Have fun with your Uno cards. Does that one count?
Nope.
Oh, some fun, some food. It's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 7th of May from 11 a.m. Includes 1 reselected football toy. Uno range comprises toys only. Whilst stocks last.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18+ begambleaware.org.
Let me just throw this idea at you. You may have paid too much tax. If you've spent money on tools, travel or food for work, Rift can help work out what you owed and get a refund bouncing back to you. In fact, on average, Rift get their customers £3 grand back. Not bad, eh? Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
I'd like a rubber ball like a bouncing.
Come on, search Rift Tax Refunds today.
Switch to EE's ultra-reliable full-fiber broadband for only $29.99 a month and pay absolutely nothing up front.
What? Nothing?
Not a thing. Plus, it stays fast even at peak times.
And it's powered by BT.
Bingo! All on the UK's most reliable broadband technology.
That's epic.
No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Hurry, offer ends 16th of May.
New customers, 24 months, 43.7% UK availability. Terms apply. Price increases on 31st of March each year by £3 a month.
We're not a bit Spanish. We're not vaguely Spanish. Somewhat Spanish or Spanish. Estrella Galicia Cerveza is 100% Spanish. Just look for the label. Brewed slowly for 5 generations in A Coruña, using the finest Galician ingredients. So as a 100% authentic Spanish beer, it's time we say, cheers to the pretenders. We'll take it from here. Estrella Galicia. Spanish, not Spanish.
TalkSPORT Traffic and Travel with MyDear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat recovery VRF projects with MyDear. Win more, earn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
Manchester, the M67 is shut eastbound after a collision. It's closed at junction 3 for Hyde with long queues on the approach. In Staffordshire, there are 2 lanes shut on the southbound M6. There's a car on fire there between junction 14 at Stafford North and 13 at Stafford South. And in Surrey, 15 minutes of queues on the anti-clockwise M25 as you head past the broken down lorry. It's just before junction 8. That's the turn off for Reigate. I'm Adam Moore.
Live Championship football.
TalkSPORT 2. And it's an absolute cracker.
Coventry versus Ipswich.
Preemptive build-up as the bell strikes 7. Main event from 8 p.m.
Tuesday night on talkSPORT 2.
Now this is tune. This is a good tune.
You love things, isn't it?
It's John talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent, Motor Point. Jerry 100 to needing around his BMWs in Keels online in store now. Still to come on the show, we'll be hearing former Newcastle boss Alan Pardew. Think should take over from Eric Ten Hag at Man United at the end of the season. It might be one of those bonkers suggestions that I've ever heard. Just quickly, Premier League clubs have agreed in principle to introduce a spending cap. More on that later. Former Aston Villa striker, your mate Gary Abon joined Jamie O'Hara on the game day phone-in on Saturday. Said Jurgen Klopp was in the wrong for his treatment of Salah at the weekend.
I think it's been coming from Salah. Salah's not a sub now. You know what I mean? You can put Salah on the bench if you're doing rotation. But Salah, Jamie, scored 210 goals and 86 assists for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? A game against West Ham, a tough game, 12 minutes. Like, come on, I'm no Salah. You want to win a trophy that way, Jurgen?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Calvin.
Don't call him Jurgen.
The manager is the manager.
Yeah, but he's right. But where I do agree with Gary is that I'm playing Salah. Like Salah,
Fine, but that's irrelevant. We're not talking about whether or not you play.
Yeah, okay. What the way he's disrespected Klopp in front of everybody.
You can't do that.
Sometimes players, mate, not sensitive, but angry.
Vile, you lot. Carl, isn't it unusual for Gabby to take the side of the player?
No, he didn't go. He went against Jurgen. That's normal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Carl's a Liverpool fan. Hi, Carl. How are you?
Evening, gents. Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. What's your view on all things Klopp v Salah?
I have to say that I agree with you on this, Andy, in the fact that if that had been me, I'd have told him to put his tracksuit back on and get his backside back on the bench.
Yeah.
The manager has the say who plays, who doesn't. And to be honest, you're only as good as your next game, and Salah's last 6 or 7 next games have been substandard. And Harvey Elliott deserves to play based on the form. It should be picking people on form, not on reputation, not on what they've done in the last
Very good point, Carl.
Look, I agree with you to a point, right, and I get that about picking players, but you're talking about 6 games. But the guy's been unbelievable for like 6.5 years. Do you know what I mean? And even this season, I don't think you drop someone for Harvey Elliott when the guy's still got 17 Premier League goals. Like, he's always a goal threat. So to give him only 6 games is...
He's not come on and done anything in that short space of time. And the previous games, he's played the whole game and he's been terrible. He's not taking people on. He's not tracking back. He's not being a team player. It's like he's already moved away from the club, and he shouldn't be playing. It doesn't matter who you are. If there's people there who are willing to give 100%, then they deserve to start, because he's not been doing that.
Let me ask you a question, Andy. Okay,
Thank you, Carl.
Listen, Carl made a good point there. Who gives you a better chance of winning the game, right, from the start? Harvey Elliott, good player, or Salah?
Yeah, but that's not...
No, but I'm asking you a question.
You know the answer is Salah.
Exactly.
But that's not, you can't manage like that.
No, but I think when you get to this crunch part of the season, you're going to have to make decisions that maybe you wouldn't necessarily usually do. But if you want to try and push Arsenal...
Do you think Salah's been that good over the last 6 weeks?
I still play him every single week.
So he's undroppable?
Well, okay, he's had 6...
Is he undroppable?
Yeah, he is. When you've got Darwin Núñez, you can't finish anything.
I mean,
Kevin
De Bruyne gets dropped.
Okay, I get that.
We don't even talk about it.
But they've got other players in that squad. Maybe not as good as him. If De Bruyne doesn't play, you've got Foden, Bernardo Silva, right?
Doesn't matter. Kevin De Bruyne is one of the best midfielders the Premier League's ever seen.
Okay.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
And he gets dropped. We don't even talk about it.
Mohamed Salah is more valuable on the pitch to Liverpool in terms of scoring goals than Kevin De Bruyne is to Manchester City, because they've got an abundance of
Haaland's been dropped.
He's been injured as well.
But he has been dropped.
And he gets replaced by a World Cup winner. That's my point. They dropped Salah.
I'm just saying, if you've got... Who did they play and they left Salah out? And was it... No, it wasn't...
It's like one game.
No, sorry. They left Kevin De Bruyne out in a Champions League game. Was it Real Madrid? Left him out the first leg or second leg? First leg.
It was about a couple of years ago.
No, this season.
Well, maybe.
They left him out.
My point is, there are other players to step up that are world-class players. Like Alvarez.
The manager's big. There's no... What you're alluding to is the players bigger than the club.
No, I'm not saying that.
But you are. You're saying he's undroppable.
No, but I'm talking about if you want to win a Premier League title, you have to have your best players on the pitch. And Salah certainly is one of them.
Dave's a Liverpool fan. Hi, Dave.
Hey, off you right, lad?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good show as always.
Thanks, Tom.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I kind of, the previous caller, I think, was barking up the wrong tree a little bit. I think he was showing disrespect to Salah. However, I do fully agree with Klopp. One thing I will say, Andy, there's no way, and I know you're a United fan, there's no way you're not letting Salah on just because you've got a petty argument there. You're not going to turn around.
Well, if I'm the manager in that position...
If you were the manager in that position, you're not going to say, actually, sit down.
I am with 10 minutes to go.
No.
I am.
Hang on. Right, okay, we'll beg to differ with that one. But the point is, I kind of agree with both of you, that ultimately, the manager has the authority.
Yeah.
Now, the question we're not asking here is, I'm really interested in the narrative in terms of what Klopp has actually said. And I think it's got really heated because basically, while he's waiting to come on, West Ham have scored, haven't they? So that changed the dynamic again. But Klopp, ultimately, and I know what you're saying, Benke, I love Salah. 6, 7 seasons, 20 goals a season.
7, yeah.
Ultimately, Klopp's made a decision, and he's being brave, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's being really brave. And also, what is he bringing Salah on to do? He's bringing him on to bag the winner, isn't he? So I think on this one, I'm just really sad because I love Salah and I love Klopp.
Yeah.
I think they need to make it up because they've just been fantastic together, haven't they? Season after season. And the other thing is, ultimately, Klopp's made Salah better, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's a man manager. And there's no way Klopp's absolutely lost it and done something ridiculous behind the scene in terms of motivation. He's a proven man manager who gets the best out of players. He's brilliant, arm round the shoulder. So, yeah.
What a great call. David, we spoke to you before?
Yeah, you spoke to me a while back. I need to ring more often.
You do, Dave. You really know your stuff. I love talking to you. Make sure you do.
Good. All right.
He's right though, and that's what I just said to you earlier. Like, it's sad to think about them two, because them two together have been unbelievable. Salah and Klopp, like unbelievable. You don't want this to kind of taint the last part.
When you ask Liverpool fans, or football fans, why were they successful? Why did they win the Premier League?
Yeah.
They'll say Van Dijk, Klopp, Salah, and Alisson.
And Mane.
Hey, why? How come you? The list goes on.
Hey, who was their captain? Hey, who was their captain? Hey, you know, listen, you know, captain of the biggest, one of the biggest clubs in Europe.
Yeah, I know he's your mate, but I wouldn't put him in that category.
Don't be silly.
No, you don't be silly.
Come on.
What, Van Dijk and Salah, and you're putting Hendo in there?
He was the captain.
Mate, I could have been the captain that year.
Mate.
But come on. Listen, I know he's your mate. Don't put him in that category.
No, come on now.
No, don't put him in that category.
He was important.
Is he? I didn't say he wasn't. No. He's not in that. Is he in that category?
Yeah. He won the Football Writers Player of the Year.
I don't care if we wrote his autobiography while he was playing.
Well, I don't know. He's in that bracket.
Benty.
Captain, legend, leader.
Yeah, fine. Okay, is he in the category of Van Dijk and Salah?
Yes.
No, he's not.
When people look, no, listen,
Andy. Ask them in there. Is he?
Thank you.
Joe just nodded because... No, he's not Joe.
When people...
Jack in the back. Jack Homer. Jack.
Hendo.
Can you put Jordan Henderson in the same category as Salah and Van Dijk? Yes or no? Thumb up, thumb down. Quick, Jack.
See? Thank you.
Who asked you anyway, Jack?
Honestly, when people look back at this Klopp era... No, when people look back at this Klopp era...
Right, let's ask Steve.
Hendo...
Let's ask Steve. Right, is it impartial?
No, because...
It's Man City fan. Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, you've got the casting vote.
I've got the casting vote. Klopp.
Have you not been listening to what I've been saying, Steve?
What's it?
No, you haven't. What was I saying about Hendo?
He's just come out of panic. Klopp.
No, you'll never know. You'll never know, Steve.
Please.
He's just panicked and went, Klopp.
That's like you sat in the classroom at school and the teacher's gone, Steve, what are you making? You've gone, Bulgaria. You've no idea what we're talking about, have you, Steve?
Sorry, boys. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about what I was going to say about what I was going to say. I wasn't listening to you guys.
Stevie Panic's your new nickname. Do you want me to ask you the question, Steve?
Yeah, go on, please.
The question is, I don't know if we should ask him. But
No, he's lost it.
Steve, we're not going to tell you. You never know.
Oh, good.
I can't do that to Steve. Steve, the question is, Benty was putting Henderson in the same category as Van Dijk and Salah. And I was like, there's no way.
No, listen, Steve,
hold on.
not as player.
I said, there's no way you can put him in the same category.
But as importance to that Liverpool team between when Klopp got there to the day left.
Whatever you want to put him in, can't be in the same category as those two.
Not a chance. No chance whatsoever.
Well done, Steve. You should have said Klopp again.
No. Well, I say Klopp. I nearly said Klopp.
Okay, right, I'm glad you didn't. See, Steve said it.
No, he's in that, Andy.
Okay, well, we'll throw it out to both of you said 1-7. 2-3-3-4 still to come on the show. We'll be hearing who former Newcastle or Alan Pardew you think should take over from Everton over United at the end of the season. That's sparking as well. First, it's time for No Googling Part 2. Jared Bowen, by the way, every week I'm getting a bigger fan of Jared Bowen. He's fantastic. He recorded his 30th Premier League assist for West Ham this weekend in their 2-2 draw with Liverpool. Only 4 other players have managed 30 or more Premier League assists for the Hammers. Can you name them? The answer to that and loads more coming up live on talkSPORT after this.
Drive on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. Discover 73-plate BMW 1 Series from just $25499. For price verification, go to motorpoint.co.uk.
TK Maxx are here to shake up your summer plans with headline-making, crowd-pleasing festival tickets exclusive to treasure customers. You and 3 friends could be on your way to TK Maxx Presents Scarborough Open Air Theatre. Join our Treasure Rewards programme. Shop with your treasure card at TK Maxx, HomeSense or tkmaxx.com and you could be a winner. There's no summer like a TK Maxx summer. T's and C's at tkmaxx.com/festival terms.
Live, and you could. 10,000 pounds every month for 30 years. Set for life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
This is no ordinary mission. We're here to help carpet fitters bring comfort and luxury into every home. A new carpet deserves the best underlay to keep that brand new carpet look for light years. We're talking Tredair carpet underlay here. We're the Tredairnauts. And with our range of underlays, we're on a mission to bring comfort and luxury into homes across the universe.
Tredair carpet underlay. Feels like nothing on earth.
All the big names are here. Ooh, who's that?
I think she was in the movie about that really big shark.
No, not her. The florist.
She's automating invoices on the go so she can spend more time on that flower wall.
QuickBooks can save you up to 8 hours a week, so you can bring your vision to life. That's how you do business differently. Intuit QuickBooks.
Disney Plus, what's your emergency?
I need to know when Grace is coming back. Please help.
No need to panic. The new season of Grey's Anatomy is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Wait, it's already back?
Correct. But side effects may include elevated heart rate, excessive crying. Please be aware that Meredith Grey will be returning.
Wait, what?
Hello? Are you there?
New episodes of Grey's Anatomy now streaming exclusively on Disney Plus. 18+ subscription required. T&Cs apply.
I'm Martin Samuel. I write a column for the Times and Sunday Times, and you can read my take on the weekend's football every Monday online or through our app. You'll also find the latest news and exclusive football features. Enjoy the Game podcast, the football newsletter, and in-depth tactical analysis in the trend. A digital subscription is just £1 for 3 months. Subscribe with Google or visit thetimes.co.uk/talksport to join. Also renews at £26 a month unless cancelled.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.
This is John talkSPORT, me and Goldstein and Darren Bennett, who just received a phone call from Jack Wilshere, who said, "What are you talking about, Benny?" Of course, Goldstein's right, as always. Following us to 7, Danny Kelly brings you kick off tonight. Danny's got Danny Murphy in the mirrors, Darren Lewis, lots of D's going on there alongside him. Don't forget, Jeff Stelly returns tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. breakfast show. Jeff's got Super Ali Coiston alongside him. Next on our show, we'll hear who Alan Pardew suggested should take over Old Trafford to Man United. Got points against Burnley. Say drop points. Point well earned. You need to hear that audio because it's quite bonkers. All of that more coming up first with news headlines. Cara Bentley.
talkSPORT News.
Good afternoon. Downing Street has reiterated that Britain will not accept back migrants who've left the UK and gone into Ireland, despite a meeting with representatives from both sides today. Ireland wants to send people back who've come in from Northern Ireland. Ireland's deputy leader, Micheál Martin, said they need to find an agreement that works for both sides.
The ultimate way forward is both governments working together, sharing information on the wider question of migration, trafficking and so forth. And there has been good engagement over the years in respect of the Common Travel Area.
The former Deputy First Minister of Scotland, John Swinney, says he's considering running to succeed Humza Yousaf, who's announced his resignation as SNP leader this morning. The Times' John Boothman explains more about the frontrunner to replace him.
John Swinney's got a whiff of the continuity candidate about. He's clearly a guy who can unify the SNP, but can he drag them out the doldrums? That's the big question.
MPs are debating whether to change the law on assisted dying in England and Wales. It's currently banned across much of the UK. A petition to alter legislation is backed by Dame Esther Ranson, who has stage 4 cancer. Those opposed to it say it will make people feel obliged to die.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Premier League clubs have voted in favour of a spending cap based on broadcast revenue, and a former Lioness says sports brands have failed to provide tailored boot designs for female players. More from Will at 6.
Reasons to like TalkSport. 1, 2, 3. Football, golf and cricket, your season ticket. A punt on a whippet and goals. A bit of Super Alley to dance at Alley Pally. Connect to Happy Valley and Grand Green Bowls. Happy on the depot, the on from life from Glasgow. Never on the winner, plus Mary Groves. Premier League footballers, runners, riders, ballers. Lots of angry callers and then don't.
Don't be a blockhead. Listen to TalkSport on DAB Digital Radio 1089 and 1053 AM, on the app and on your smart speaker.
TalkSport.
Jiggy, can't you see? You sit and drive on TalkSport with me and you're sitting down alongside. Before the break, I asked a really good question about Jarrod Bowen. He's recorded his 30th Premier League assist for West Ham this weekend. Only 4 players have managed that or more for the Hammers. Can you name all 4? Can you? Have you looked? No.
Can you?
It's 1. You've looked, haven't you?
That's what my son's
Right, that's enough, man. The Kenny is 1 with 31. He's 3rd.
Oh, so there's more than that. Premier League?
Yeah. The obvious one.
Oh, Mark Noble?
Yeah, Spurs, 35. Second one may surprise you. Striker, sort of.
Antonio?
Yeah. Last one.
No idea.
Aaron Creswell, 30. Oh, done 25, they got it. Man United's 1-1 draw with Burnley on Saturday. Means Eric Ten Hag sides have won just 3 of the last 10 matches in all comps. Good man with that, well done. They've conceded just 21 goals as well during that period. Former Newcastle West Ham Hardy thinks it's time to replace the Dutchman at Old Trafford. But with who?
I've got a gap for you, ready? Right, he's not international. He's not won the Dutch league. He's not won the French league, right? He's an old player of yours. He's done brilliant for 4 seasons. He almost beat you in the semi-final. Mark Robbins. There you go.
There you go. Go on, Pardew.
I don't really know where to begin. I can start with what on earth are you talking about?
Tell you what, though, he knows the club.
Yeah, he does.
Knows the club.
Yeah, that's probably it. Right, I'm sure.
Did he save the club at one point? Or save Fergie?
Yeah, FA Cup against Forest. If we would have lost that, everyone said Fergie would have gone or would have been sacked, whatever. I don't know how true that is. No one really does. But he scored a very late goal. Man United was. I think they drew that game and then went on to win the replay. I think. But anyway, won the FA Cup that year. But no. I don't really know how far you want me to go with this comment. It's like saying Mr. Blobby should get it. No disrespect.
Well, no, Mark Robbins is a good manager.
Yeah, I know he is, but he's so far away from getting that job at Old Trafford. It will never ever happen.
I get that, but then who? I mean, the good question is who?
Why suggest it?
Because Mark Robbins, at least he's got an identity where he plays.
What does that mean? Who hasn't got an identity?
You're not. There you go.
Good answer.
You asked the question. You haven't got one. You lot. I mean, that performance against Burnley, who were like second from...
Excuse me.
You like this? Compliment them up?
Oh, tell me I'm doing my cough, Benny.
Yeah, watch the game, start to finish.
We had lots of chances. We could have scored lots of goals.
So did they. That's the worrying thing.
Yeah, that is worrying.
I think at one point...
Early on, after like 5 seconds.
Did they have more possession than you?
Probably. I'll look it up, but my guess is probably yes.
Now, Andy, like, I know we all have jokes and we have a laugh and stuff like that, right? But
yeah, but no, Benny, when you talk about Man United, every week we talk about Man United.
They had 53%. They came to Old Trafford.
Yeah. Good team, by the way, but...
And had 53% possession.
Well done.
There was a time...
Nearly half.
There was a time where if you got a shot on goal from any distance, you done well.
I don't get why you and the rest of the world are constantly going, there was a time. That time hasn't been like that for 10 years.
So you're telling me it's awful now?